Councilmember Steve Friedman.
Here.
Councilmember Deb Gillis.
Here.
Councilmember Anna Richards.
Here.
Vice Mayor Sharon Mahoney.
Here.
And Mayor Don Horton.
I'm here.
We have
All
one.
right. My good friend Phil Goodman, by the way, he's a certified parliamentarian. Phil, will you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Thank you very much. Let's see, Council, are there any additions and deletions that you'd like to have on the agenda for tonight? We'll start off with Steve.
No, sir.
Okay, Deb?
No, sir.
Oh, Anna?
Nope.
Sharon? Okay, I think there's a couple of things I'd like to do. First, I'd like to, when we get to reports and presentations, which will be next, I'd like to go on and swap the presentation from Captain Lizette. We'll put the swearing in of the firefighters first, and we'll move Lizette second, if that's okay with everybody. And then I'd like to also just read out our April birthdays, and I've got something, kind of a surprise for Pete Frezza. So I'll put that under Mayor and Council Communications. Ron, do you have anything?
No, sir.
Okay, good deal. Mr. Attorney, do you have anything?
No, I just mentioned something during the attorney report, but I'll mention it at that time.
Very good. Okay. So moving on then, we'll move on to our reports and presentation. Chief Abel, would you like to come up, please?
Good evening. Thank you, Mayor, Council, everyone here in the Community Center with us tonight, and everyone via web streaming. This evening, we gather to honor the firefighters taking their next steps into a career. These 6 of the 7 individuals have come on board full-time here with Alamorada Fire Rescue. At this time, I'd like to call up Pastor Trevor, please, sir, if you would, sir.
Good evening, everyone. Chief has asked me to read the firefighter's prayer, and then I would just like to offer a prayer. So the firefighter's prayer says, "When I am called to duty, God, wherever flames may rage, give me strength to save a life, whatever be its age. Help me embrace a little child before it is too late, or save an older person from the horror of that fate. Enable me to be alert and hear the weakest shout, and quickly and efficiently to put the fire out. I want to fill my calling and to give the best in me, to guard my neighbor and protect his property. And if according to your will, I have to lose my life, please bless with your protecting hand my loving family." Will you pray with me? God, we just thank you so much for our firefighters, God, these new recruits that are coming in, and all of our first responders. God, I just pray that you would watch over them. God, protect them, be with their families. Thank you for the selfless deeds that they do. And we pray all of this in the amazing name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Trevor.
Thank you, Trevor. Appreciate that. This time I'd like to call up my firefighters. At this time, could I have Michael Kimes, who started his career here actually almost a year ago, 4/16 of 25. Michael Myers, 4/17, day after Michael, part 1, 4/17/25. Christopher Freitas would be next. Unfortunately, he lives in Broward and couldn't come down for the ceremony this evening. So Alejandro Portiwando, 1/12/26, started in January of this year. Same day, Eric Rodriguez, 1/12/26. And Sean Perozzo, Again, 11226. And then we have Port 2, Mario Portuando. They're brothers. And he's not yet started full-time. He's still on call, but give it another week and a half on 4/18, he will actually be full-time with us as well.
Wonderful.
All right, some of you guys have thanked me for giving you this job, but I can guarantee you, I did not give you this job. Each and every one of you have earned where you guys are standing right now. We're proud of you, proud of your accomplishments so far, and this is just the beginning of a hopefully very long career. And now is when the real learning starts. Never stop learning, never stop asking. Practice your skills constantly. Don't practice until you get it right. Practice until you never get that skill set wrong. Master your craft. Be the best at being a firefighter, because it's the best job in the world. Look to your left, look to your right, look in the back of this room. These are now your brothers and sisters that are here with you through the best of times, through some of the toughest times in your life. We will be here for you regardless, and we expect nothing less from you guys. You are now members of our fire family, Alamrada Fire Rescue. You're also members of the Alamrada community. So with no further delay, let's go ahead and get the swearing in started. So raise your right hand, and Assistant Chief Charlie Mathers, if you would step forward, please.
Thank you for this opportunity. Gentlemen, your right hand is up. Please repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear to do my duty as a firefighter. For Alamrada, the Village of Islands. To the best of my ability. To serve my commanding officers with respect and dignity. To serve the citizens of Alamrada, Village of Islands, with compassion, courage, and integrity. To uphold the laws and constitutions of the United States of America, the state of Florida, and Alamrada, Village of Islands. So help me God. Congratulations.
Now, if I could have you guys get your special someone that's going to be badging you this evening to come stand in front of you.
My favorite part. Oops, sorry.
This is the good stuff.
All right, let's go ahead and get them badged.
It's technical difficulty.
His skin's tough.
It's perfect. Mayor, council members, any comments?
Steve, Deb?
Congratulations and welcome to our family.
Congratulations, stay safe.
Anna?
Congratulations to all of you.
Vice Mayor?
Congratulations. Welcome aboard.
Guys, the mayor's Alamrada, I'm extremely proud to have you folks on board. I can tell you there was over 52 years ago that I graduated from from Texas A&M Fire College. Didn't make firefighting my career, although I did follow it, and it followed me for a very long time. I can tell you that I remember Chief Abel when he had hair. I remember when Charlie Mathers was a young buck just coming into the service, and we've been friends a very long time. You guys are awesome. You're welcome, and you are part of our family. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, gentlemen. If we could get a round of applause again for these guys.
All right, call it inspiration, Chief. Wonderful. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, guys. Come on, guys.
All right, let's move on to Captain Lizette Quintero. Captain, let's see if you can top that one. I know you can. Look at that. Look at that.
It's okay. We don't need that many.
You got a minute or two if you need it. They'll file
fine,
out
yep.
soon.
Let them enjoy. All right. Good evening, everyone.
All right, Chief. Let's see if we can quiet it down. Thank you.
First and foremost, congratulations to our new brothers and sisters. We look forward to working with you and keeping you safe, and great partnership. Good evening. My name is Captain Lizette Quintero. I'm with the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. Sheriff Ramsey is kicking off the 2026 Citizens Police Academy in the Lower Keys and could not be present here with us today, so you're stuck with me. And let's see, I'm here to just share some really great news. For some, a surplus is seen as an excuse for more spending. Because of Sheriff Ramsey's commitment to physical integrity and responsibility, I am proud to announce that we have once again concluded our fiscal year with a significant surplus. On behalf of the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, I am pleased to present a check in the amount of $123,253.17. Yes, for unspent funds from the previous fiscal year. The Sheriff's Office is proud of the partnership, the Village of Islamorada, the Village of Islands, and we continue to protect the citizens of our community. So without further ado, I know everyone's been waiting a very long time for this check. Mayor, may I? Picture first, right? Yes. We're taking a picture.
Get around this way.
No picture? Okay. What?
Huh?
All right, here we go.
One point. Chair back. I'll take your cane.
I don't need it till tonight.
Take my chair, I'll take your cane. That's what I thought. I looked over here and I'm like, thank you.
Thank you. I love that.
And actually, Eagle's supposed to face to the right. He's not supposed to face forward, he's supposed to face to the right. All right, let's move on. All right, folks, we've still got work to do. Let's see. I know, I have to do this part. Are we working on here? It's on? Okay, very good. Andrea, can you come up, please? And then the rest of our mosquito control folks, please. Believe it or not, when we were in Tallahassee last, Anna and I got a picture with the big mosquito. It was Mosquito Control Week when we were up in Tallahassee. So this is a proclamation of Florida Mosquito Control Awareness Week for April 19th through the 25th of 2026. And whereas mosquitoes have historically posed significant threat to public health, quality of life, and economic vitality of the state of Florida by transmitting disease such as dengue, Zika, the other one that has a big funny name, and as well as the West Nile virus. And you're going to tell me how to say that.
Chikungunya.
There you go. That's what I said. And whereas effective mosquito control is essential for protecting residents and visitors by fostering tourism, safeguarding outdoor recreation, and ensuring the continued vitality of Florida communities, and whereas Florida Mosquito Control Awareness Week, observed April 19th through the 25th of 26, serves to inform and educate the public about the importance of mosquito control, personal protection measures, and the role of professional mosquito control programs in disease prevention. And whereas the Florida Keys Mosquito Control District has demonstrated a long-standing, steadfast commitment to protecting public health through science-based mosquito surveillance, controlled operations, public education, and innovative research initiatives. But wait, there's more. And whereas the dedicated professionals of the Florida Keys Mosquito Control District work tirelessly to reduce mosquito populations, respond to emerging threats, and enhance the quality of life for residents and visitors throughout the Florida Keys. And whereas the community participation, including eliminating standing water and taking preventive measures, is a critical component of successful mosquito control effects. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Village Council of Islamorada, Village of Islands, Florida, hereby recognizes April 19th through the 25th of 2026 as Florida Mosquito Control Awareness Week, and encourages all residents to learn about mosquito prevention, support local mosquito control efforts, and join in recognizing the important contributions of the Florida Keys Mosquito Control District. In witness thereof, I have unto set my hand and caused the seal of Islamorada, Village of Islands, Florida, to be affixed this 7th day of April 2026. So, thank you very much. You want to say anything to the public?
I'll do a quick thank you so much for the partnership between the village and our district. And would like to welcome everybody to come and visit. April 18th, we're having a community open house at our Marathon facility. So if you want to see our researchers, our inspectors, our aircraft, we're going to be doing some demonstrations that day as well. So I would love to invite all of the public to come out to that. Thank you again very much.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Phil, would you like to give us the buzz?
I would just like to thank you again for this proclamation, and thank you for all your support for mosquito control. Thank you.
Very welcome. Ma'am?
I would like to say thank you, and if anybody would like my card and contact information, give me a shout, put your hand up, and I'll slide one over.
Very well. Well, thank you very much, and congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you, Phil. Thank you. We need a picture. Absolutely. Let's do a picture. Y'all come up here. Come on. Come on, Sharon. Hobble up here. You need the exercise. Oh, no, you don't.
What are we doing?
We're going to get a picture of... It's a Kodak moment, Deb. Come on. Yes, we can do it over here.
A
Let's do it.
seal in the background like a missing arm.
Move my chair out of the way.
Martin, now where are we at? Oh my God.
Stay right there.
I'm thinking about it being in front of it.
Now he wants to
All right, Steve, why don't you over here?
Don, can I say something?
Absolutely.
The mosquito control has done a wonderful job. Growing up here in the Keys, not to date myself, mosquitoes were so bad. My father used to make us run around the house once before he'd open the door and let us in, because a big swarm of mosquitoes would come in with you. So it is definitely so much better than it was back then.
We
So
don't have
thank
to
you.
light the smudge pots anymore, that's for sure, so it's great. Thank you all very much. Thank you. Keep up the good work. All right, let's see, did we bore Aaron, or are you still here? Aaron, fantastic. Aaron, will you please? I just hope that you proclaim that this is almost over with, so.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Yes, sir.
you.
Good evening, Mayor and Village Council and public. I'm here tonight to give you another update. We're getting closer. See if I can find our map here. Here we go. And I'll speak from the map, and then I have other slides if we have questions. But basically where we're at, you can see on the overall map with our main open cut transmission main pipeline, which is the main cause of the traffic. That box all the way in the pink there, you can see that we're just about to Julep Road, which is our finish line. Now, over the past, several weeks, I think the first part of March especially, traffic was really bad, even going, pretty much the whole month of March was really bad. We continue to have meetings every week with Monroe County Sheriff's Office, with the school board to make sure buses can run, and as much as we can do to help with the traffic. I think the biggest initiative on that is to try to keep the people on Old Highway and some of that traffic to the lights and keep the north-south lights moving as long as possible. That kind of helps the overall traffic situation, and for the most part, that has worked for us. Now, we can't, do anything about the number and the volume of vehicles and traffic, so just about everything we can do, including kind of our contractors have changed their work plans to make sure trucks aren't coming in and out at those high peak periods, like from 2 to 6 when school lets out. So we've done a lot to try to make the situation better. I do think the last week and maybe 2 weeks, it's lightened up somewhat in the afternoons from what we're seeing. It's still there though in the afternoons, as you guys are aware of. But where we're at now, as you can see, once we reach the end there at Julep Road, which we're currently targeting like the end of this month, like that last week of April, to reach that point, our equipment will then be able to get off the road, which will help the situation a lot. We will then move on to the connections phase of our project. So we have the month of May and June just slated. We're currently meeting with all the operations folks to get the water main connected. And that entire month will be going throughout our entire project area. There's like 6 connection points that we're making. So you'll see, like, some of the businesses will see the equipment come back and the traffic control set up. We've tried to put enough public information so that everybody's aware, but you'll see a setup for that, but it'll be like for like a week or 2 days, and then we'll be gone and go to the next one. But you will see that over the next 2 months. And then once we finish that, we're planning for really July timeframe to go back towards Snake Creek Bridge, start our restoration effort, and which includes paving. So we'll be paving the northbound lane all the way from Snake Creek up to Julep Road. And then I think a year from that, DOT is actually going to come in and cause some more traffic. But for our project, and I've got David Hackworth here with the Aqueduct tonight too, who's our project owner. But yeah, our mainline pipeline is the open cut portion of it should be completed by the last week of April this month. So with that, I want to see if the council or the mayor has any questions on our most recent work.
Council? Deb?
Well, I just had a question about July. Technically, in the Keys, we have 2 holidays in July. I know you recognize one of them, Does the DOT and you guys recognize mini-season?
Yes, ma'am. So FDOT, that's one of the main ones, but they put out a list of blackout dates, which includes holiday, obviously Independence Day. I think even Good Friday, we were limited on work activity, but lobster mini season, 100%. They usually give us a range, like maybe the Friday, the Monday, or the Thursday, the Friday some years, and then they look at traffic volumes, and if it starts to back up or there's more, they'll pull us off the road. We're hoping to be paving, if not even done with paving, by the next mini season, so hopefully we don't even have to be here for that one.
That would be good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anna? Vice Mayor? All right. No, I know that people are getting weary, and I know that you're getting close, and you're doing a good job in moving on. So we appreciate what you're doing. It's the necessary evil that faces us, but thank you for the updates every month, every council meeting. We really appreciate it.
Yes, sir. I appreciate all the support and the patience from the public as well.
Thank you, Aaron. All right, let's see, we also have a presentation and discussion about fiscal year 25 grant application for Small Cities Program and FKA project. I think the FKA will present something on that, is that right?
Yes, sir.
David, thank you.
Is there somebody before me? No? Tara?
Yes, hi. It's me. Can everyone hear me?
She's low volume.
Yes, we can hear you.
Let me turn up my volume. Yeah, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Taryn Peraza-Amaro. I'm with Ovid Solutions, and I am working with the Florida Keys Aqueduct Authority to identify and pursue funding opportunities for water infrastructure improvements. And the latest opportunity has come live. It is the Small Cities Community Development Block Grant Program. It is openly current application cycle, and that will close on May 6th. This is a federal program that is administered by Florida Commerce, specifically for small non-entitlement communities that don't receive CDBG money directly from HUD. For your community, that means Islamorada would be the one applying to the state, and if awarded would be the grantee, even if you choose to partner with Florida Keys Aqueduct Authority in carrying out a project. At a very high level, this program is designed to help your community tackle important development needs, things like infrastructure improvements, housing-related work, and revitalization projects, as long as they meet HUD rules. And one of the biggest rules is that every project has to clearly meet at least one of 3 national objectives. Number 1 is benefit low and moderate income residents. Number 2 is address slum or blight in the community. And number 3, which is what we would be presenting, would be respond to an urgent threat to health or welfare. One of the key program requirements is a built-in public process. So the program expects citizen input and 2 public hearings before an application can be submitted so that residents and elected officials have a chance to hear what's being proposed, the opportunity to ask questions, and then weigh in before the village decides whether to move forward with an application or not. That's just a very quick overview of the program, so I'm happy to answer any questions if you have any before I turn it over to Mr. David Hackworth to walk you through FKA's potential project and how it might fit with the funding opportunity. Does anybody have questions for me?
No, ma'am.
Okay, great, thank you.
So good evening, Mayor Horton, council members, and public. First, I want to start by really thanking the village. You've been a great partner for all the work that we've been doing, for the past few years, from mile marker 79 to 92, which really went through your area. And also to thank you for the $17.5 million that we were able to get through grant funding on the Islamorada project, which really helped. So with that said, I just want to go over this project and how it kind of ties into the bigger picture. So if you go to the next slide, or am I doing it? Okay, I guess. There we go. So you could see we have a very aggressive program to replace the transmission mains. We basically spent $250 million, either spending, will spend shortly. It's roughly 10 million a mile, and there's 125 miles from Florida City to Key West. So it's a big, expensive program. So every dollar helps, and every dollar is put to a good use. So your help with this grant application really does make a difference in just helping, chip away. We've funded a lot of our projects through grants. Since I've been there, we've gotten over $100 million in grant funding for various projects. So, and our CIP program's roughly $500 million. So it's a lot of money. So we've already completed 7.7 miles. We're in construction of 6.9 miles. And then we've got some design in the works that's 8.8 miles. And that's one of the projects that we're going to present to you tonight. Oh, is the Lower Matacumbe. So actually, the next phase of the project shouldn't impact you guys too much. I mean, it's still in the villages, but it's the Lower Matacumbe, not as many businesses, and there's more kind of green space on the side of the road that we think we can get out of the highway on this round. But our next set of projects is between mile marker 72 and Channel 2 Bridge. And this particular project that we're asking for the grant is for the Channel 2 crossing. Our strategy is, we have about 44 bridge crossings, between here and between Key West and Florida City, and each one is, is vulnerable to hurricanes, is vulnerable to somebody hitting a bridge, is vulnerable to just deterioration of the bridge, and so we've started doing subaqueous crossings, where we put in a pipe underneath the canal, and we've already completed 3 successfully. We've done the first one at T-Table Relief, the second one was at Will Harbor, the third one was at Tavernier Creek. So the next one, we have 2 that are already designed and permitted, Snake Creek and C-111. I don't know if you're familiar with C-111. It's the canal right on the 18-mile stretch. So those 2 projects are already designed, and we were told we got the grant. We're just waiting for them to execute it. And then this would be the next one, Channel 2. It was identified by our operations staff as one of the next critical projects. So the budget for the project is $4.8 million. We're at 30% design. We'll be ready to bid it by December. Probably take less than 6 months to build. And this won't be really much impact, I think, with traffic. Like the other subaqueous crossings, you might recall, well, we had a little bit of a hiccup at Tavernier Creek, when they shut down the highway and stuff. But this one, it was just... It was like it was the first day and it rained and school started. It was just bad timing. This one will be much smoother. Side of the road. It's less congested area. No high schools. And then this material is high density polyethylene that you probably saw on the side of the road, 42-inch diameter. And lastly, it'll be about 2,200 feet. And I think that might be it. Yeah, that's it. So any questions about the project or the program that we have?
Deb? Do you have a time frame on when you'd actually be doing the construction on this?
So a lot of it's dependent on funding. We'll be ready to start construction, my guess, in January of next year. And then sometimes, as is the case with Snake Creek and C-111, the direction I've been given by my boss is have shovel-ready projects, projects that are designed, and then that gives you more points usually for grant applications, and then you're ready to go as soon as the government releases those funds.
So will the other 2 bridges be done before this one?
I would hope. Actually, yes, ma'am. If they execute to be honest with you, we thought we were going to get the money last year for the other 2 bridges. So it's kind of in the pipeline, per se.
So I guess that leads me to ask, when do you think Snake Creek will be done?
So we are ready to go. In fact, right now, quite frankly, our permits have expired. We're actually having to renew them, which is not a big deal. But as soon as we get the money, and we keep asking every month, to our grant, our counterpart on the funding side, with the change of administration, they pretty much stopped all the grant work. I guess just to re-scrutinize who was awarded and who was getting money, and so we're just waiting for it to get restarted again.
And how long will either Snake Creek or the one in Lower Matt take approximately?
The construction?
Once you get to
less than
start.
6 months. Yeah.
Less than 6 months.
Yeah,
on
the
each.
actual, and that's actually generally the contract duration. The actual work is usually a month, that the drill rig is set up, and you do initial bores. You might have 3 or 4 passes where you send the bore machine in, and then you just do the final pull, and it's continuous. So that whole process is usually maybe 1 month to 6 weeks.
Okay.
Anna, Vice Mayor, Steve? No? Well, we're very thankful, David. Thank you, and the hard work that everybody's doing. I know the partnership between the village and Peter, Alyssa, and everybody on our side that's working hard on this. Whatever we can do, we need to get this done. I think the engineering on his project is just incredibly amazing. I love to watch these runs underneath the water and what you're doing there, and a lot safer than what we've got going underneath the 7 Mile Bridge right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're thankful for what's happening. So thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Peter, come on up.
Excuse me, thank you, Mayor, for letting me speak real quickly on this subject. So Peter Frez, Environmental Resources Manager. One thing I don't think may have been relayed clearly there by Taryn, and she may want to come back, is that we are looking for direction to proceed as a partner with the Aqueduct Authority on this and submit this grant application. So in order to do that, it's required to have two public hearings of the Village Council. So we would need 2 special call meetings. They would need to be noticed. The first, we would be looking for direction to go ahead, yes, we want to do this, we're going to apply for this grant. The second, we would bring a resolution before you that would need to be approved. The deadline for this is May 6th, so we cannot use the May Village Council meeting as one of the public hearings. So we would need to have 2 meetings of a quorum of the council before May 6th. So that's what you're agreeing to right now. And we need direction on that because of the really short window of the application for this grant, which is only about 30 days. So just wanted you to be aware of that and hoping for you to give us some direction, yes or no, to move forward on this, and then we'd be scheduling 2 meetings.
Deb, did you have a question?
Well, and tonight, we can't use tonight as one of the meetings.
We
because it
tried,
wasn't
we couldn't
advertised.
notice it. We didn't have time to notice it when we found out. We needed to have 2 public hearings. We wanted to do one of them tonight, but we were just short on the notice period.
Did you notice it for the 9th meeting? Because we are scheduled to have a meeting for the 9th. Is that noticed?
What? I didn't
What's
know
on
about
the 9th?
It's
Yeah,
on
what's
my
the
calendar.
9th?
I mean,
What's
we're
the
not,
9th?
we're going to finish everything tonight, but it was
Oh,
canceled.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's still on my calendar.
Oh, my God. What did I forget?
It's still on my calendar, so, okay. Well, so you're going to need 2 special call meetings.
Yes. In 3 weeks. Was that 3 weeks?
All right,
A month.
I'll work with Ron on that, and unless you guys have a date that is far enough out, what do you need, Marnie? 72 hours notice?
Yeah, that's for the public notice. I'm not
That's
sure
what I
about the
thought.
public
How far
hearing
apart do they have to
requirements.
be? An hour?
So actually, that's not, so they
That's
can-
not a silly question,
We
actually.
believe we might be able to do them back to back, same day. We're looking into that.
Close
So
the meeting and then start a new one?
Yeah, so there's an open house to answer questions about this grant. I believe it's tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow. So we're going to ask that question, can we have back-to-back hearings so we could do it in one day? And there also needs to be we are going to ask a task force to form. We get 10 extra points if we have a local task force of 5 village residents that makes a recommendation. So that will need to be a noticed meeting as well. You do not have to be present for that. But we would do that right before the first hearing.
Okay.
So I'll know more
Mr. Mayor.
later this week. And I can work with Marnie to try and get these scheduled.
All right. Yeah,
So-
we'll work with Ron and Marnie and you, and we'll
Okay.
figure this out and.
Okay, so we want to try and do this?
And see what we can do this. Yeah, I'm gone the 10th through the 15th, so we're going to have to do it, I guess, after that. But we'll get
John,
it
is
figured
there
out.
any, I mean, you can zoom in on a special meeting, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was thinking. I mean, I shouldn't have to drive. I mean, we'll see. I'll speak with Peter, but I'm sure I can just attend via Zoom.
Are you
It's
leaving
a
on the
pretty
10th?
narrow
Are you
meeting.
leaving on the 10th?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
I was going
All
to
right.
say, maybe we could do one on the 9th.
That's good. So I guess right now Peter, do you need a consensus on us moving forward? And, okay, so let me just
Do you
get a
need a
nod
motion?
going around here. I got a nod, yes, and a yes. Okay. So you do have a consensus that we'll move forward on this grant application.
We
We
need a
just need to have our official public meetings now, okay? David, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
And Mr. Mayor, given the notice timelines, it would be, I guess it sounds like it would be when you come, after you come back on the 15th.
Yeah, we'll work that out, but it'll be shortly after that. Yes, sir. Good deal. Okay. Trying to move on, right? Mayor and council communications. Steve, you have anything?
Nope, not at this time.
Deb? Anna? Okay, then I'm gonna run through our birthdays first. I think it's important that we recognize the birthdays of our village staff. So our April birthdays, we've got Shannon McClurg, who is is the clerk with the building department. We've got Orlando Herrera, Christiana Patience, Jose Pena. I know him as Teo because I can't pronounce his first name, but Teo is, I think, the longest working employee of the village. He actually worked for Plantation Yacht Harbor when the village bought the yacht harbor and stayed on. So Teo has been here since the beginning. So Teo Amaro, Rodolfo Corona, Douglas Highland, Noah Levine, Morgan O'Cathy, Alyssa Panzer, who is working on this grant stuff. So thank you, Alyssa. Hattie Jenkins, our finance director. Callie Tavares, our staff accountant. We can't go without her. And Ariane Montes de Oca, Alejandro Portundo, and Eric Rodriguez. So those are our April birthdays and part of our fine staff that we've got working for the village. The next thing is, Peter, since you're here, I just wanted to recognize something because it's very rare that our staff gets a letter quite like the one that was written by the folks at Plantation Lake Estates Homeowners Association. But basically what they said is about 5 years ago, the Plantation Lake Estates became aware of the possibility of them putting air bubblers on the inlet to their system in there. They viewed the video installation of another project that was done in Treasure Harbor. They met with Peter, and Peter helped them go through the whole process. And just to quickly say that this president of the Homeowners Association, Jay Stein, Dr. Jay Stein, says that he wrote this letter to commend Mr. Frezza and the village since they were private citizens and they participate in the government, and that the government doesn't get these kind of comments back very often. And they're just extremely thankful for the work that Peter did to help improve the water quality in their basin, in their lake. And I just wanted to say, Peter, thank you for all this hard work that you're doing. All of our waterways are eventually going to be cleaned up, and it's because of the hard work that you're doing, and we're very appreciative of that. So I want to thank you for that. All right, now, village attorney and council, our mayor, manager communications. Ron, you have an update on a boat ramp, right?
Peter's going to give the update.
Oh, okay.
Since you said such nice things about him, he should.
We say nice things, he's gonna say how to spend money, right?
Oh, well, thank you, Mayor, for reading that letter. I really appreciate that. It's really a pleasure actually working on these projects. I love doing it and seeing the improvements to the water. And Councilman Friedman lives in that neighborhood, and we can see the benefits there already. It looks really nice.
I remember one time where they actually stopped permitting in Plantation Lake Estates because of the water quality. It was back in the 80s, and the health department had done a test out there, and they stopped. They told the county to stop permitting in Plantation Lake Estates because of the water quality in there. So what y'all are doing is wonderful.
Okay. Oh, well, thank you. Okay, so update on the boat ramp. I was asked to give an update. This is regarding the Founders Park ramp right here. As you know, at the last meeting, the March meeting, we brought this item up. It was discussed for the reconstruction of a new remodeled boat ramp, generally in the same footprint as the current ramp. However, we'd be looking to install a secondary launch adjacent to the current launch. So there'd be two side-by-side launches. And then also, we'd be looking to do a redesign of the parking lot down here, the trailer parking lot, to accommodate more trailers. So where are we with that? I have asked for the assistance of an engineering firm that are in our engineers library, Cummins Cedarburg. As of right now, they are working on a proposal for us for the design, permitting, and contractor procurement for construction. So fully from design through contractor procurement. I asked for them to do that in phases, so likely it would be 3 phases, with the first phase being a conceptual design. That would be the first thing we would need to do. With that conceptual design, what that would entail would be all the surveying that would need to be done, the bathymetric, the benthic, the topographic surveying. It would be all the stakeholder input where we interview the fishing guides and other task stakeholders to see the dimensions of the ramp and what we're looking for with the ramp. It would also be a conceptual design, and first rendering of a design of the ramp. And then also that would include the opinion of the engineer's opinion of probable cost of what the whole construction project would be. So they were not able to have that for us for this meeting because it's detailed. That is a lot of work to put that type of proposal together. However, we will have that ready for the May council meeting. So I already have it on the agenda. I'm going to be bringing a work authorization to you for approval for the first phase. It'll be a conceptual design. That will be, I don't know the cost yet, but based on early discussions and these types of projects in the past, we'd probably be looking between $20,000 to $40,000 for the first phase. The full project design through contractor procurement, I'm estimating about $100,000 to $120,000. That's about how much these projects entail. This is a detailed project. It's going to take detailed analysis, a detailed design, and difficulty permitting. So years of this. So that's why that's ballpark $100,000 project. We have drafted right now an application for a grant, the Florida Boater Improvement Program. It's a FWC grant. We're going to be requesting $120,000 to cover that full cost of design and permitting. That's due Monday. So tonight I would be looking for some direction to council to move forward with this because we are going to be applying for a grant. I am asking the consultants to deliver us a very detailed proposal. So I would just like to know if the council still desires to move forward with this. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Mayor, we're itching. You want to talk?
No, I think this is a win-win situation for the residents, the guides, the tourism. I think we have a huge opportunity down there at that boat ramp, and I'm 100% for it, and I know the grant will cover that, and plus I've already met with other people where other funding will be covered. So we may get out of this without really affecting the taxpayers. And I'm not at liberty to really go in farther than that, but I want to move forward on this. That's me. I don't know, how does everybody else feel?
Thank you. Steve, I think you commented on this. Would you like to continue?
Yeah, it should be noted that we all received a letter of support from the Florida Keys Fishing Guides Association on this, so they are behind it and backing it. I guess I just want to make sure that we're a part of sort of, like you say, the design phase and how this goes in. One of the main concerns really is the after-hours use, because a lot of the guides will get in before there's an attendant there. So I think that we need to make sure that there's some sort of access. And hopefully at the same time, I'm not sure, Peter, if we can also look at the other ramp. There's been a few complaints about the utilization of that in terms of its physicality in terms of putting a boat in. I haven't had any issues myself, but I've heard about those, so that's something that we need to look at. And so I'm in support of it. I think it's great. I would definitely like to see it 100% covered by a grant or donations, if it comes to that. It seems like what you're saying is that the village is going to have to front a little bit at first until, if and when we get those grants. And it's going to take some time. So that being said, I would like to see why we can't move forward with the program that we had years ago, where we had keys and a padlock, so that we can have a small group of guides be authorized to use it and use it respectfully, considering the staff, the parking, and the marina residents. I'm not really sure why we can't move forward with that part immediately.
Thank you. Anna, anything?
I mean, no taxpayer funding and getting a project done. I know it takes a lot of time for these projects because I know what's involved in doing them. So it's not something that's going to happen this year, but it takes a lot of steps, and moving forward, I'm good with.
Thanks, Anna. Deb, you good? Okay. You're good? All right. No, I totally agree. I don't know. I mean, I completely understand the idea of allowing some people to use that ramp at night. I just don't know how that would work and how that's, how that plays out if we just allow. I don't know how you would allow a certain limited number of backcountry guides or guides that would use that, and then excluding the taxpayer as well at the same time, who helps pay for this park and helps pay for that ramp. So however staff can come up with an idea that we would approve up here, I guess I'm good with that. But I think to single out, any group of people in particular just isn't fair for the taxpayers as well. We're running out of ramp space, and we need to look out for our commercial fishermen for sure. But we need to take care of the citizens as a whole as well, the taxpayers as a whole. I think that I think it is something that we need to continue to advance, but we need to make sure that we plug it into as we come through our next budget cycle. I know that we don't just have, money to throw into this, but you do need a commitment of some form. I personally know that it's going to take, you said a couple of years. I think that's accurate. And I think that it's going to be extremely expensive, and we're going to be pretty lucky if we get their approval. It is a dredged basin, and we do own a bay bottom in there, but there's still some concerns that would happen at the DEP level and at the Corps level. I think probably more at the DEP level. So we got to be smart in how we put this application together for sure, and dot our I's, cross our T's. Yes, Deb.
We were talking, I didn't think of it when you asked me a few minutes ago about expanding the use of the ramp. Maybe the idea is that we get a better idea of what time frames that is needed, and we put an attendant there.
Yep. And I hope
maybe that's the answer, is because then the citizens could do it, and we still lock it at, I don't know what that time is, midnight.
Yeah, I don't know what time they lock it. I think that while we're designing this, maybe we look into leaning on Vince a little bit too, and come up and using some of the state-of-the-art technology that we have available for us. And it's instead of a lock and a key, there's a lot of other things and camera systems and stuff that we can use to make sure that we've got it secured, and that just our public and our commercial fishermen have the right to use that in the right way. Yeah, unique codes or something, yep.
Peter, can we accelerate the parking area improvement? Can we accelerate that? Because that seems to be something that's going to be required no matter what.
I got to.
Sure.
Question
I
for
mean, if
Ron.
the council wants to accelerate that, we could start immediately.
Ronnie, kind of put an idea together with your team?
Well, remember, we have the park master plan that did address the parking, so I think if we want to do something, maybe we should go back and look at that and see if y'all want to do anything differently than what that park master plan showed, because it showed, for example, getting Public Works out of there and freeing up some space back there, which is, I think we want to do, but we were trying to look at this comprehensively. We know that changing the boat ramp will also put some different requirements there too. But I think immediately we can make some moves to free up some space and do what the park master plan recommended.
All right. So, Peter, are you asking for us to come up with a consensus on you to spend a certain amount of money right now? Is that what you're looking for?
Not tonight. That'll be
Okay.
in May. I am going to ask you in May to spend unbudgeted funds, somewhere between $20,000 and $40,000. We didn't budget for this. However, we have found locations, both within the village manager's account within the general fund and possibly within the marina fund. We could fund the conceptual design this year. Full design and permitting, we would bring that for FY 26, 27. And there's no guarantees we would get this grant. It's very competitive, but there are other grant opportunities also. So of course, we'll be searching for every opportunity for grant funding for this. But in May, I will be asking for somewhere in the $30,000 range for conceptual design.
Oh, then I would say in May, bring back where that dollars are going to come from and let this council make a decision at that point. Yep.
Sounds good.
Good deal.
All right,
Okay,
thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you. All right, let's see, we're moving on to 6B. Marnie?
Yes, I just wanted to announce the opening of our application period for our city committees. If you'll recall, but last year we started staggering terms, so as a result of that, we have about 25 terms that are expiring this year. All of the current members have been contacted to ask whether they'd like to continue or not, of course with the caveat that interest does not guarantee reappointment. But we are accepting applications until May 1st, and we would love to have everyone apply.
Thank you, Marnie. Have you gotten responses back from the calls that people wanting to re-up? Is that on our checklist?
We have got a few.
Okay.
Yes, we might have to, we being me, send out another email this week to remind them.
You and the mouse in your pocket is the
Yeah.
we? Right, okay, good deal. All right. Thank you. All right, so we'll move on and open this up to public comment. Marnie, do you have any public wanting to, oh, wait, hang on a second. You have something, okay. Well, then you go for ladies first.
I just had a couple announcements. I wanted to remind everybody that on April 29th at 5:30 in this room, we're going to have a public workshop on the draft comprehensive plan update. And Able City East will be here in attendance, and we're looking forward to receiving everybody's feedback and comments and providing any answers to questions that you may have. So the draft is available on the website. We can also provide it. If you send us a request, we will provide you a copy as well. So look forward to seeing everybody at that meeting. That's April 29th. It's a Wednesday in this room at 5:30 p.m. And then the second thing I just wanted to announce is we're trying something new next Wednesday on April 15th from 11 to 1. Plates and Plans. It's a new initiative we're trying in the planning department where there'll be a couple of us from planning. I believe somebody from building and somebody from code will be in attendance as well during the lunch hour to just, it's sort of a casual drop-in kind of event where if people want to come, give us ideas or ask questions, there's no presentation, there's no agenda. We're just going to be here as like an open house if anybody wants to come in and talk planning. It's really exciting for most people, I know, but I thought it would be a good way for us to, you know, interact with the public and answer any questions that people might not want to come to a meeting and get on mic and ask. So we're trying it, and hopefully if it works, we'll be doing it either monthly or quarterly. We're going to see how it goes, but the first one will be next Wednesday from 11 to 1, and it'll be here.
What
in
are you
this room.
serving for lunch?
We're gonna get some sandwiches, some fruit, some chips. We'll just do like a little light lunch for people.
Fantastic. Good deal. Well, see, that might bring even more just because they're going to get a free lunch and get to talk to you. That's awesome, Jennifer. Thank you very much. John?
Yeah, I'll just be brief. I was going to just mention, because I've gotten some calls relatively recently about some of the litigation and the insurance coverage. I'm not really going to get into the litigation aspect of it, because that's obviously there's litigation strategy and attorney-client communications that go along with it. But recently we had received a notification from our insurance carrier that on a couple of our litigation matters that the defense budget for those, the insurance carrier's defense budget, had been exhausted. And so I just wanted to mention what that is to avoid any confusion, because there's been, like I said, different calls, and there's been some confusion as to what took place. So our insurance coverage, the way it's scheduled, there are certain, depending on what is filed, it may or may not be covered. Some cases are covered fully. The insurance carrier defends all the way through, including appeal. Other cases may be covered under what I can describe as kind of, actually I think Councilmember Friedman, when he and I spoke, described it as like a parachute policy. I'll just kind of use that term because I don't really know how else to describe it, where it's really kind of a catch-all where we'll cover some of your claims, but up to a cumulative of $100,000 of defense costs. Now that is cumulative, not any one case. So when you have multiple cases like we have had, that when that gets added up together, at some point, if it hits that $100,000 mark, the insurance carrier then advises us that they're no longer covering the defense. That's what happened here. We don't know when that happens with the bills and everything gets sent directly to the insurance carrier. We don't get those. So it's my understanding that there were 3 cases. I'm aware of 2 of them. I'm not sure what the third one is. A couple weeks ago, I reached out to the insurance carrier to try to get more information. I still hadn't heard anything back, so I reached out to them again yesterday to find out and to try to get this information. Still haven't gotten it yet, so hopefully I will, to get an understanding of what those cases are. But I just wanted to make sure that people were aware of that when they hear that $100,000 number. It's not any one single case. It was a group of cases that got us to that point. And then, then we will proceed, defending the cases going forward. But I just wanted to make sure that there was an understanding. And some people ask why some cases, why not others. That is an analysis that the insurance carrier does based on our coverage. They have their own counsel that they consult with that advises as what are covered and what are not. If we disagree with that, there's an appeals process we can go through, obviously. But that's a whole ball of wax that, frankly, I'm not like an insurance guru. I have attorneys that I rely on for that because they understand the exceptions, the coverage, things like that. But so there are reasons why some claims are fully covered and why some aren't, and it's really just it's fact specific. It depends on the case and how it's pled, frankly. So I just wanted to mention that because I know, like I said, there have been I've fielded a number of calls and people's understanding varied from A to Z, and I wanted to make sure that I could give as much information as possible to try to get us the range, not from A to Z, but a little narrower range as to what the coverage is and where we are with the litigation.
Good deal. Thank you, John. Any questions with John? Yes, Steve.
Yeah, I would just say moving forward here, once we find out a little bit more about the insurance policy and what transpired in terms of it being used up sort of suddenly, that when we re-engage with this policy, that we have some sort of, stopgap. Okay, if it's 100,000, we need to know that we're at 75,000. Someone needs to alert us, whether that's your firm or whether that's the insurance firm or whether that's tasked to a staff member. I think that we need to be conscious of that going forward with this insurance policy.
And I agree because it came on suddenly on us. It was a surprise, and we'll need to work with the insurance carrier because, like I said, the bills go to the insurance carrier. I don't see any of those bills, so there's really no way for me to track it, at least as it's currently set up. So, that's a conversation we'll need to have with them, because I agree, we need to make sure that we're in our best position, our strongest position. So if we start creeping up on those, especially when you have multiple cases, then, if it's one case, that's one thing, you kind of get a feel for it. But when you have multiple, one big month, if you have a big hearing, can really eat into that. So that's something I'll work with Ron and finance about, and we'll get that set up so that this surprise isn't sprung on us again in the future. Hopefully.
Ron, can we add that to our action report then, so it doesn't fall through? Thanks.
Is this insurance through the Florida League of Cities?
No, we go through it's called PRM, Public Risk Management is the name of the company. So there's a couple of insurance groups. League of Cities is one, PRM is another.
Okay.
I think there's one called Pidget as well. That might also be in League of Cities. So there are a couple of conglomerates that different cities go through, and ours just happens to be PRM.
Okay, very good. Thank you. All right, is that it for staff?
For me,
Thank you
at
all
least,
so
yeah.
much. Okay, now we'll open it up to public comment. Marnie?
Yes, first up would be Ken Thomas.
Welcome back, Doctor.
Thank you. I'm Ken Thomas. My Winley Key neighbor asked me, why do I keep coming to these meetings challenging Anglers Reef? They're very rich, well-represented, well-connected, they're powerful. You can't fight Village Council. You can't fight City Hall. They've made up their mind. You're wasting your time. I told him I disagree, reminded him of what I've told my college students for over 40 years, never give up. I then reminded him that 30 years ago, I tried to get a bank in Overtown where there hadn't been one in 40 years. And I was successful with the help of a coalition and pro bono lawyers I know to get one open, and it's still open today, the first branch in Overtown. 15 years ago, you'll recall, I worked with Jerry Wilkinson here to stop a foreign investor from converting our Winley Key Park into a private dinosaur attraction. 10 years ago, few believed I could create a community development fund, but I did, delivering over $500 million of affordable housing here in South Florida and nationwide. So here I am again, trying to give it the old college try. I agree Anglers Reef needs parking, but they can lease or buy adjacent private property. They've got the money. Instead, they've asked us to spend $500,000 to construct parking on our right-of-way. Then, seeing pushback, they offered to build and lease it back for $1,000 a month. The true value might be 10 times that. Now, to avoid violating Florida's Constitution, AG opinions, and case law, it was cleverly relabeled public parking. Placing a public label on private parking is not only misleading, but sets a dangerous precedent with obvious legal and financial consequences, especially when the village hasn't formally vacated the right-of-way, hasn't commissioned an independent appraisal, and hasn't conducted a traffic or safety study, despite our former village engineer citing unsafe angular parking, yet the village changed its backup ordinance to accommodate Anglers Reef. Islamorada residents and any judge will see through this facade. This is not daytime public parking for businesses or a community facility. It's for overnight rental guests for Anglers Reef, the name on the site plan. If approved, Sun Outdoors, the mobile home park, motels, they'll come and do the same thing. Bad decisions like this, mistakes like this, shape how a community and village council are remembered. I agree with Islamorada Community Alliance that this whole project stinks to high heaven. Yet here we are on the verge of approving their site plan. We should be preserving our public space, not leasing it out. Maybe my neighbor was right. For more information, I can be reached at kenmia22@gmail.com. Thank you.
Thank you, Doc. Marnie?
Next up is Joe Wishmeyer.
Welcome back, Joe.
Joe Wishmeyer, Plantation Key. Mayor and Council, I want to applaud the Planning Department for reaching out to the residents of Islamorada to hear our concerns and suggestions that will help preserve our delicate ecosystem and maintain our quiet enjoyment of life as stated in our mission statement. I would hope that all council members will do the same thing as to listen to the people's concerns who elected you. All of you campaigned to restore confidence and unify the residents. Holding a town hall type meeting would be a great way to start this process. Last month, I brought up the lack of important items on the agenda affecting our community. I even gave you some suggestions, but again, none of these items appear on tonight's agenda. Then you canceled Thursday's meeting and added these items to tonight's meeting. The quasi-judicial hearings require public notices, and those had tonight's meeting date, meaning that that was done weeks and weeks ago, and you knew about it, yet we just found out. What happened to the FDOT landscaping item pulled by Mayor Horton and the ridiculous amount of $65,000 a year to maintain 18 miles of right-of-way? What happened to the baseball field agreement after the council rejected the unacceptable changes proposed by the school board? How long does it take to get a water bill readout and compare EDU count to the 157 gallon per day that they use? This will also make residential vacation rentals pay their fair share. Why are we still dealing with Ted Yates? The village did not renew his contract, period. Yet we have spent $100,000 since the 2024 in legal fees with no resolution. Why? Back in 2024, Council awarded a contract to Able City East to update our comp plan and LDRs. In their presentation, they proclaimed to have many workshops. A direct quote, "Public participation is the heart of Isla Mirada comp plan." Since then, we've had one workshop. The first draft was delivered to staff September 2025. Now another draft and finally one workshop is scheduled. What changes were made without any public input since September? Why are the public notices on Winley Key Anglers Club right-of-way parking, but nothing on the agenda? I have many more, but I'm running out of time. It appears that this council is more concerned with land issues and granting more permits, even though the new comp plan is not yet done. Get your priorities straight. It's village residents over developers. Thank you.
Next up is David Helwig.
Welcome, David.
Mayor, council members, thank you for the opportunity to speak with you. I'm David Helwig. I'm here on behalf of Habitat for Humanity of the Upper Keys as the president of its board of directors and to address RFQ 2601 and the future of the Machado property. For nearly 9 years, I've worked directly in affordable housing in the Upper Keys, and during that time, Habitat, our Habitat affiliate in the Upper Keys, has partnered with the village to complete 29 affordable housing units, homes, within the village, with 4 more pending their final approval, as well as completing numerous new homes in the adjacent communities in Key Largo. That track record reflects a substantial commitment to the village of Isla Mirada, even through multiple changes in village leadership. As such, we would like to think that we are a strategic partner with the village, as described and advocated in a number of comprehensive plan policies, even if that's not formally declared and despite our disagreement with the course of action currently being pursued under this RFQ. Although Habitat did submit an alternative proposal in response to the RFQ, I am not here to advocate for award to us, but rather to request deferral of council action to allow for further consideration of alternatives, alignment of ongoing policy work, and consideration of updated data before moving forward. I'll provide more discussion about that. The Machado site represents one of the few remaining meaningful opportunities for the village to guide development in a way that reflects long-term community priorities. First, with regard to process, the village has established several advisory committees. Noteworthy among them is the, you call it the for Achievable Housing Advisory Committee, but I guess it's really the Workforce and Affordable Housing Citizen Advisory Committee, specifically to guide decisions such as this. Although this type of involvement has not been provided for during the current process, involvement of those valuable committees and the broader community is essential to provide for transparency, ensure the depth and quality of considerations, as well as to build public trust and confidence for a matter of this importance. The village should not move forward without the benefit of involvement of each of these parties in a transparent process. Second, on development options, limiting the RFQ to consideration of only multifamily early evacuation rental units, as was done, unnecessarily narrows the range of viable development approaches for this property. And consistent with that, heavily penalizes any alternative proposals in the evaluation process for not being directly responsive. Additionally, the code of silence that accompanies the RFQ further restricts discussion of any alternatives until something's awarded or the matter's concluded. The RFQ structure, therefore, the RFQ structure that was employed here effectively prevents the village from hearing or considering options that may better serve the long-term community needs. The village does have available for its use affordable housing BPAS allocations from several sources that could support other approaches, including any unused existing affordable housing allocations, 8, through the potential reclassification of the rental units at Windley Point and reclassifying them such that they could fall under the early evacuation allocation, and 75 affordable housing BPAS allocations approved by the Florida Administration Commission on December 17th of 2025. All of these opportunities exist and they should be used. Additionally, specific comprehensive plans policies require protection of the tropical hardwood hammock that occupies a considerable portion of the Machado property, protection of federal protected species focus area that encompasses a portion of at least one of the Machado parcels, and compatibility with the surrounding community. These are policy requirements that must shape the developmental approach for this property and be included in the criteria for evaluation of alternatives. The use of single-family homes with reduced impact layouts on already cleared areas of these lots may offer a way to balance affordability. I have 5 minutes because I'm speaking.
She set you on 5 minutes, so if you could wrap it up, we'd appreciate it, Dave.
Thank you.
You've had 5.
Pardon me?
You have had 5 minutes, so if you could wrap it up, we'd appreciate
it. It could provide the balanced opportunity. Exploring such alternatives, of course, does not limit the village to that consideration, but rather just to explore alternatives. On market conditions, I think it's important to note that the existing studies on affordable housing needs in Islamorada are extremely out of date, being from 2004 and 2007, and suffer from several methodology limitations, including failures to include consideration of adjacent communities and commuting patterns. We all recognize that the housing landscape of the Upper Keys is...
Dave, if you could please wrap it up.
I will.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Has changed considerably. Addition, a number of significant major workforce housing projects have been approved or underway recently.
All right, Dave, you've had well over 5, actually 6 minutes, so thank you for your comments, and next time, if you would, just time yourself, and we would happily give you 5 minutes.
May I do my closing statement?
Yep, you've had your 6 minutes already. Thank you very much, Dave. We'll move on. Marnie, who's the next speaker, please?
I have...
Thank you, Dave.
Okay.
There are no more speakers.
There are no other speakers? Okay, thank you.
Correct.
Hearing none, public speaking is closed. All right. Let's move on to consent agenda.
Mr. Mayor, we're in the consent portion of the agenda. These items are of a routine nature, and council members have reviewed these items in advance and sought the advice of staff as they felt necessary. There'll be one vote on the consent items, which today are tabs 2 through 5. If anyone would like to pull an item from consent, he or she should state so now.
Anybody will pull anything? Deb, you good? I'm good. Thank you. Anna? Vice Mayor? Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve.
Have a second?
Second. We just did it.
We'll have public.
Yeah, you can have public
Yeah.
comment after the motion.
Yeah, that's,
I mean,
I'd
not
rather have a
before the
motion
vote,
and a
but
second
after.
on the table, then
Yeah.
we can have public comment. Yes. Is there any public comment on the consent agenda?
Yes, Mr. Wishmeyer would like to speak.
Thank you, Joe.
Joe Wishmeyer, Plantation Key. The biggest problem that I have here is tab 5. I don't understand what a fire watch detail is, and how come, in doing some research, it used to start out at like $18 an hour when the village first started, and then it went to $30. Now they want $50 plus $7 an hour for administrative fees. I don't understand what it is, and some venues need it, I guess, and some don't. I don't know how that gets, so if anybody could enlighten us on how this works, it would be helpful. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Is there any other public comment, Marty?
No, sir.
Okay, very good. So we got a motion and a second. I'm sorry, what?
Do you want to respond?
Yeah, let's get this consent agenda, and then I can ask Terry to come up after that. That's fine. All right? So there's a motion and a second. Is there any objection to? Okay, hearing none, the motion passes with unanimous consent. Terry, would you like to come up for just a second and explain your rate increase on this so that we know that we've got cost recovery, basically, is what this is?
Yes, sir. Good evening, council. So the number at 57 is the cost recovery number that I came up with. I put it in multiple, basically accounting software programs. What would $37 in 2008 equate to now in 2026? And the three different programs that I used came within a few cents of each other at the $57 number. That's why the number's at 57. The $7, which is the admin fee, goes to pay for Miss Debbie doing the paperwork, Michelle upstairs doing her aspect of doing the check deposit, and Callie and the girls doing the accounting software and tracking it all. And then the money that is collected goes to offset. If it's one of my volunteers or the on-call, they get paid straight that money. If it's not one of those people, if it's one of my career staff, then they get paid their regular rate of pay unless during that pay period it triggers into overtime, which would be time and a half. The only caveat to that is if the person that's pulling the permit requesting the fire watch does not give me 14 days notice and I'm unable to give the union members 14 days notice, then they're entitled to double time. So when does a fire watch get triggered? A few different caveats, obviously large events in the park. Councilman Friedman and I were speaking yesterday. He's like, there were a bunch of kids for the fishing tournament. I'm not worried about kids and parents running around fishing off the jetty. That's a very low risk, low hazard type of event versus some of the other events we have here when there's lots of bars, lots of drinking, lots of elderly people that in the heat of the day and stuff of that nature, they fall down, they go boom. So we have people that are on site to provide immediate care. They can hustle them out of the crowd and get them to my rescues when they're there. Other type situations would be marathons. We have lots of 5K, 10K, half marathons that are in the village. We go out and we protect those runners while they're there. They're adding an increased burden of possible response. So instead of taking away from our citizens, should they have a 911 call and are tied up on this event, I actually put people on the event. So if there's an emergency, those people tied to the event handle the emergency. And it doesn't task my three on-duty stations. The other scenario would be multiple resorts throughout our community. Sometimes they have a break in their pipes or they have a fire alarm system that goes down. In order for them to be able to maintain occupancy, we have to impose a fire watch. So if that system is down more than 4 hours, by Florida statute, we have to impose a fire watch. During the daytime, we let them do it with their own security staff and their own manning. At nighttime, we've tried to do that in the past, and due to multiple places and multiple failures, and all the risk being on my shoulders, I took that away from them as a possibility, so we do the fire watches at night. So while they're sleeping, our crews are there providing fire watches, walking the property every 10 or 15, 20 minutes, and providing, basically being the alarm system. And they know how to work the suppression system, so if something were to happen, even if it's going to make a mess in one room, we'll provide protection to everything else.
So it's basically cost recovery for special events and life, things that may have an imminent danger to life, health, or safety.
Correct, yes, sir.
Okay.
And the 57 is actually lower than some other similar communities, is that right?
Lower than other communities, and it's actually lower than my brothers and sisters with MCSO. They're at 65 an hour. We're at 57.
So you're breaking even, right?
We're doing cost recovery on everybody except maybe my upper captains and a couple of upper lieutenants, but they don't ever work the details. It's usually my lower guys.
Good deal. Thank you very much, Terry.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Appreciate the answer on that. Okay. Let's move on to resolutions.
This is tab 6. It's a resolution of the Village Council of Islamorada Village of Islands, Florida, ratifying the final payment to Global Relay for email archive data retrieving services in the amount of $91,653.57, authorizing expenditure of funds for the difference between the previously approved estimated amount and the final invoice, and providing for an effective date.
Good evening, Council, Mayor. Okay, so this, I just wanted to come up. I was going to put this on consent, but I wanted to explain what happened. John, myself, and Ron all tried to get this reduced, and this company wouldn't budge. After speaking to John at length about it, he said that the venue would be in Canada, and we probably would not win. So it could have cost us a lot more. So, I mean, this should have been a lot less than $90,000. But anyway, all the data is now in the United States. We retrieved all 6,500,000 emails except for 3. So I think we've satisfied everything there. And this is just to close this out. And I'd appreciate your approval on this. Thank you. Any questions?
Council, any questions for Vince? Nope. Okay. Let's open this up to public comment then.
We have no speakers signed up for this item.
Very good. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you, Deb. Do I have a second?
Second.
I got a motion and a second. Is there any objection? Very good. Hearing no objection, the motion passes by unanimous consent. Let's move on to tab 7. We'll keep you on the hook here, Vince.
Tab 7 is a resolution of the Village Council of Islamorada Village of Islands, Florida, approving the purchase of network switching equipment and related installation services from United Data Technologies, UDT, in an amount not to exceed $100,000, authorizing the village manager to execute necessary documents, authorizing the village manager to expend budgeted funds, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you, Council. So this is to replace all our core networking switches, which in a nutshell keeps all the communication of the village running. Phones, servers, building department, software, everything. This council meeting right now, there's one in that room that has to be replaced. When they reach 10 years old, you lose support. So what happens with that? If the switch breaks, we don't get a replacement. We have to pay for it out of pocket, and it costs more. This equipment keeps going up every month. From last month to this month, it went up $8,000. So I feel it's something we got to move on now, because the AI is driving all the prices of computer equipment up. And I decided to go with United Data Technologies because they know our network. I priced this out with 3 other vendors, but this is something in the IT world with the Cybersecurity Act we don't like to do RFPs on because you have to put a lot of information on that. So I reached out to 3 vendors. 1 vendor came back with hardware that wouldn't do it, and the other 2 came back within dollars of each other. So I decided to go with these guys because they're doing the installation anyway. Do you have any questions?
Council, any questions?
Nope.
All right, good deal. So let me open it up to public comment. Is there any public comment, Marnie?
No, sir.
Very good. Guess I need a motion
Motion to approve.
and a second.
I'll second.
I got a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All right. Is there any opposition? Hearing no opposition, the motion will carry.
Thank you, Council.
By unanimous consent.
Thank you, Council. Have a good night.
Thank you, Vince. It's hard to stay up with what you're doing. Okay, we can move on to tab 8.
Tab 8 is a resolution of the Village Council of Islamorada Village of Islands, Florida, approving work authorization number 8 with Avalon Gardens, Inc. for completion of a planting project at Founders Park, authorizing village officials to implement the terms and conditions of work authorization number 8, authorizing village manager to expend budgeted funds, authorizing village manager to execute the project agreement for work authorization number 8, and providing for an effective date.
Peter.
Okay, thank you. So yes, this resolution does approve a work authorization with Avalon Gardens for a planting project right here at Founders Park. Where we are proposing this is in between the frontage road and the front of the park, basically the whole length of the frontage road and US 1. You know that there's a line of shrubs, trees, a hedge line there. It's dominated by decades-old bougainvillea that are in really bad shape. Not only are they old and no longer blooming, I think they're in a little bit too much shade. It's not a great environment for them. And they're no longer serving as a buffer either between the park and the highway. So we are proposing removal of those bougainvillea. There's about 200 of them, with a replacement of all nice native vegetation, plants, shrubs, about 16 different species. So not only would we be creating an amazing habitat out there in this frontage area, but we'd also be beautifying it too. We're proposing plants that flower. So really nice project. We're going to create some excellent habitat for native wildlife, like butterflies and birds, and also create a nice buffer because the plants we're proposing will fill in over time and create a buffer that's lacking now. So I do want to point out and assure the council, we are not going to be removing the bougainvillea that run from in front of the chamber. There's 2 rows of bougainvillea. The ones that are in the main frontage hedge line, and then there's a row in front of that that starts in front of the chamber and runs about 50 to 75 yards north of the chamber. Those bougainvillea are doing great. They're in full sun, like bougainvillea-like. They're blooming. They're beautiful. We are not proposing removing those. It's only the ones inside that in the second row that are doing terribly. So just wanted to make that clear. And yeah, we are recommending approval. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. Council, any questions for Peter on more plants? We're going to change your name.
Okay.
Peter the planter, I think. Is there any public comment on this item?
No, sir.
Hearing no public comment, I'd like to have a motion.
I'll make a motion, and I wanted to thank council for letting me delay this a month just to find out where that they were putting the plants and which rows and. But I'll make a motion to approve as presented.
Thank you. There's a motion, and do I hear a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any opposition? All right, hearing none, the motion carries by unanimous consent. We will now move on to quasi-judicial, John.
Yep, we are into the quasi-judicial section. Please be advised the following agenda items are quasi-judicial in nature. If you wish to comment upon these items, please inform the village clerk by filling out the available sign-up form. An opportunity for persons to speak on each item will be made available after the applicant and staff have made their presentations on each item. As a reminder, testimony in quasi-judicial items must be in person. Zoom testimony is not permitted. These proceedings will be handled in accordance with the village code requirements. All testimony, including public testimony and evidence, will be made under oath or affirmation. Additionally, each person who gives testimony may be subject to cross-examination. If you do not wish to be cross-examined or sworn, your testimony shall be disregarded. The general public will not be permitted to cross-examine witnesses, but the public may request the council to ask questions of staff or witnesses on their behalf. The full agenda packet on each item is hereby entered into the record, along with the village code and comprehensive plan. Any correspondence that was received by the village staff is included in the file and part of the record. Persons representing organizations must present evidence of their authority to speak for the organization. Further details of the quasi-judicial procedures in section 30-256 of the village code may be obtained from the village clerk. Tonight there are 5 items which are quasi-judicial. 2 of them are sister items. Those are tabs 9 through 13. At this time, I would like to ask anyone who intends to speak on the quasi-judicial items tonight to please raise your hands to be sworn in by the clerk. And again, this is tabs 9 through 13.
In the matter in which you are about to give testimony, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? The witnesses have been sworn.
Mr. Mayor, we'll start with tab 9. Tab 9 is a resolution of the Village Council of Islamorada Village of Village of Islands, Florida, considering the administrative appeal number PLVR 20260006 filed by Sean and Jennifer Affolter, agent for Jeanette Consora, appellant, relating to an administrative decision and interpretation of the Director of Planning denial of a vacation rental license for property located at 200 Wren Street, Unit 209, having real estate number 00092240-000309 on Plantation Key as legally described herein, providing for the transmittal of this resolution to the State Department of Commerce, and providing for an effective date upon approval of this resolution by the State Department of Commerce. Before we begin, I would like you to please disclose any ex parte communications that you may have had with the applicant or anyone else. Again, this is on tab 9. Please include whether the person represented any group or entity, as well as the subject matter, and please include the specifics of the discussion as you best recall.
Thank you very much. We'll start over here. Any discussion?
I think I spoke with the applicant about the situation. The conversation was basically what we're talking about now in terms of what had transpired in terms of the lapse of the application.
Deb?
None except staff.
Anna?
Only staff.
None.
And me, only staff.
We are ready to proceed.
All right, very good. Jennifer, would you like to introduce the item?
Good evening. Thank you, Council. Jennifer DeBoer, I'm Planning Director for the Village of for Islamorada Village of Islands. I'm here this evening for the administrative appeal for the denial of the vacation rental license at 200 Wren Street, unit number 209. Property is situated in the multifamily zoning district with the residential high future land use map designation. Sean and Jennifer Affolter have filed the appeal of the vacation rental license denial on behalf of Jeanette Consora. The property and the property owner have participated in the village's vacation rental program since its inception in 2008 and 2009, and have been registered having been registered at the time as an existing vacation rental. The property remained in good standing within the program through December 31st, 2023. The property owner submitted timely payments for our 24 and 25 vacation rental license applications. However, the application for renewal remained incomplete, resulting in the lapse of the license. Consequently, the property has been without an active vacation rental license for a period exceeding 1 calendar year. Section 30-1296 of the vacation rental license regulations state that a vacation rental unit that does not have its license renewed within a year of its term will be ineligible for renewal and must re-register. Section 30-1295, annual registration of vacation rental uses, effective January 1st, 2023, no new vacation rental unit in the RH or MU future land use map categories may be registered unless it is assessed by Monroe County property appraiser at a value in excess of 600% of the current median adjusted gross annual income for households within Monroe County. Notwithstanding the foregoing, for properties that have been approved vacation rental licenses as of December 31st, 2022, the year 2007 HUD income guidelines and 2007 Monroe County property appraiser assessed value shall be used. Properties that have been transferred through an arm's length sale or did not have a vacation rental license affected as of December 31st, 2022 should not be eligible to utilize the 2007 Monroe County property appraiser assessed values. This property is not assessed at 600% of the current median adjusted gross income and is not able to use the 2007 assessment issued by Monroe County property appraiser as the property has not maintained a continuous license renewal. And just the numbers, just for everybody's information. For 2026, the 600% is $708,000 is what the required assessment is for a property. And as of yesterday, when I looked at property appraiser, the value of this property on property appraiser was $382,000 to $848. The agent for the applicant has appealed the most recent denial and submitted its supporting documentation outlining their basis for the appeal. But as the code states, they had to apply for a new application and are not eligible based on the valuation, and that was the basis for the denial for the appeal. So at this time, we are asking that you uphold our denial and not issue the vacation rental license. I'm here to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you very much, Jennifer. Is there any questions of Jennifer at this moment? Okay, there is none. All right. So what I'm going to do is open up testimony now of those that are in favor.
He's the applicant, so.
He's the applicant. Oh, that's right. So you get to.
Right. I just want to start out by saying I'm Sean Affler, that's my wife Jennifer. Thank you guys for having us here and giving us our chance to at least appeal this. My mother-in-law has been through quite a bit in the last, I would say, 4 years. She lost her husband in 2022, October of 2022. And then she lives with us now. She moved down with us in September of 23. She's, and I'm not trying to be mean or anything like that, but she's slipping. We have control of everything now of my mother-in-law, and we're going for conservatorship of her. We have power of attorney, which we've supported, or submitted the documents to the portal. She's fell victim to scams, and like I said, we've redone bank accounts numerous times. Actually, we've had to, and we've also supported that documentation as far as police reports and things like that through Catoosa County, Georgia, where we live. We're just asking for a second chance. Basically, we know some mistakes have been made. She did pay her, her application fee on time, and she does get confused. We didn't take over until really October of last year, and then we came down in November to try to straighten things out. Yes, I agree with what she said. I mean, she was late on, didn't submit all her paperwork, but she's been doing this for over 30 years. And she's just slipping. And all we wanted to do is get the license and pay for, I've been hearing all these projects that the village has been doing, and we want to pay taxes to make the area better and keep this condo going. And, obviously she doesn't live down here full time, and it's going to sit vacant. And it's a win-win for everybody if we can, get this condo, get this license. We can get renters down here on a weekly basis and, pay taxes back to the county. And that's what we want to do. And with my wife and I, we're a good team. I mean, we mean what we say and we do what we're going to say. And like I said, I've contacted Mr. Friedman, her through various emails, and we're trying. I mean, we're new to this, and it won't happen again. I can assure you that. Like I said, we've got control, and I'm 57 years old today, and when you get older, you start to forget things. I get it, and we're here fighting for her to be able to keep her condo that her and my father-in-law worked so hard for, and we'd like to be able to give it on to our boys. But we want to do the right thing and do it the right way. That's all. I mean, we've come down here, everything that you've asked us to do, we've done on time, like the letters that you wanted to send out certified mail. I mean, you guys called us a couple Tuesdays ago and wanted everything mailed out by the end of business day on Friday. We had it done by Thursday. We've, like I said, we've paid the appeal fee. We're here. We want to do right. That's the best thing I can tell you. And I can't imagine being, working so hard for, all your life, and I agree, the rules are the rules, and everybody's got to follow them. But in certain situations, the hardships, she's had surgeries, which we've also, multiple surgeries in the last 2.5 years, and which required physical therapy. She broke this arm right here, and I know all this, because I've taken over, I work third shift, I had run her to all her doctor's appointments. It's been quite a bit. I mean, and plus take her to PT. It was 2 times a week, sometimes 3 times a week, and I submitted all the schedule when she did go, and plus doctor's notes too. So we weren't lying to you guys. We had to, we submitted power of attorney, and this is all public record. So, I mean, we're just asking for a chance. That's all we're asking for. I mean, we understand some mistakes have been made. And, like I said, she did pay that money. And, here we are. This is where we're at today. We've taken time off work to come down here to be able to do this. I mean, that should say a lot about our character. And we're here fighting for people that can't, or, my family that can't fight for themselves, I wish we could have had control earlier, but we didn't. We couldn't get it. I mean, and now we do have it, and now it will be done the right way. There's only one way to do business, and that's the right way. So that's what we're asking everybody. And if anybody wants to ask me any questions, basically it's open book now. And I do want to say something too. Onita, that works over there, she's awesome. You guys got a great employee there. I really like, I mean, she's phenomenal. And I finally got to see Jennifer face to face. And like I said, I mean, I can see where you guys were coming from about people saying, oh, I have this and this and that. We brought paperwork to document everything that we've done, you know, that's happened over the last 2.5 to 3 years with my mother-in-law. And like I said, I can't imagine going through what she's went through in her surgeries. Broke one arm. We're walking out of Cracker Barrel. A year later, she's finally on the right path. Walk out of Cracker Barrel, she trips over, breaks the other arm. So finally, you know, we take her to the doctor. They did emergency surgery on her the next day. Then she had a plate put in her arm, you know, the second surgery. Then, you know, as we went back for a 3-week checkup, to check about the plate in her arm, got infected. Had to go back in, take that plate out because it was all infected. Then she was hospitalized another week on top of it because it got, and then she had to get an infectious disease doctor to come out, and it was once, to get all the infection out of her arm. Plus, then we had to have people come in once a week to, for an IV to feed all that stuff. So it's not been easy. And, she's made some mistakes. Yeah, she has. And we ain't denying that. Missed some things, but they ain't going to happen now because we got control. And that's it. Like I said, I've made numerous phone calls, probably blown up a lot of your guys' phones, but just wanted to show we're here to do the right thing, and it won't happen. And we're just asking for a chance. That's all. That's all I have to say. Has anybody got any questions from me and my wife? I mean, here we are.
Thank you.
Like I said, she's had that condo for over 30 years. And my father-in-law, who's an electrician, how they end up coming down here to the Keys was he worked an outage out at Turkey Point up there, and then they fell in love. That was their life, is that condo and coming down to the Keys. And I just want to keep it going for them. I don't want to, or we do, my wife and I. And I tell you what, she's great at what she does. She handles a lot of the paperwork, and she's great. I couldn't ask for a better partner in life. My wife,
deal.
and then
Thank
we just
you.
want a chance. That's
Thank
all.
you.
Thanks, guys. Any questions from
Council, any
anybody?
discussion? Want to open up to public comment? Okay. So I need to open this up for those in favor. Now, my question would be, is that in favor of staff's recommendation, or is that in favor of their appeal?
It would be in favor of the appeal.
Okay.
So if
So
anybody's
is there-
in favor of the appeal.
Is there anyone that would like to speak in favor of their appeal? Cheryl?
I'm sorry.
Cheryl Culberson, Plantation Key. I'm familiar with the unit that they are at the Gulls, and I don't often say this, but this is one of the few times that we need to reach back into compassion and realize we have an administrative error that's been caused by sickness and a decline in health. You have an ability to do this and set this right. Wrong. It is an historical vacation rental. Otherwise, I would not speak. I don't like vacation rentals per se, but this has historically been one. That building has a lot of vacation rentals. It is consistent with the usage in that village, and it would help this family keep this in there. I would ask that you would take that into consideration and set this appeal and grant the appeal.
Thank you, Cheryl. Is there anyone else in favor of this appeal? All right, hearing none, is there any testimony in opposition of this appeal? All right. Jennifer, would you like to close on anything before we have discussion?
No, sir.
Okay. Is there anyone wants to open up any discussion? I mean, I will if somebody else doesn't want to. Okay. Jennifer, who was the local agent? Isn't there somebody who's supposed to be responsible locally in the event that there's something goes wrong? There's supposed to be a name, a contact person?
Yes, if you give me 1 second, I'll look it up.
I didn't see that in the file.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not seeing that on the application.
Right.
Sorry
I
about
didn't
that.
see that either. So, Sean, is it okay if I call you Sean?
Yes, sir.
Okay, who was the local agent for this vacation rental license? You need to get on the speaker so that it's on the record. Can you, yes, sir, thank you.
That was Alan Trisdell. He doesn't live here in the Keys anymore. Actually he lives in Syracuse, New York.
And when did Mr. Trisdell move?
Just recently, within the last 6 months. I don't have the exact date, but I can get that information for you guys.
And so Mr. Trisdell was the local agent or the person responsible to
the PM, yeah,
make sure that, and Jennifer, do you recall, did during this whole time that there was things missing in the file, did Mr. Trisdell ever contact you to try to help move this along or find out what the problem was?
I don't believe so. I don't believe so.
Okay. And Sean, do you recall, did Mr. Trisdell get involved in any way to try to help move this along?
See, no, I don't. Like I
Don't know
said,
that.
since November, it was October, November timeframe is when we started taking over and getting everything in process to
Okay.
do all this. And like I said, we went back to the portal and looked, the history, and all we've seen, when we found out, when we stepped in the ball game, basically, it was, just a denial, and we're, like I said, we're new to this. It ain't gonna happen again. I'll
Right.
tell you that right now. After all the money that's been spent, us coming down here, and I don't want to tie any of your guys' time up again, for something like this, or we don't, I should say, my wife and I. But like I said, we have taken away all her electronics, her phone, computer, iWatch, iPad, things like that. So, at that particular time, we didn't have access to a lot of this stuff that was going on. And like I said, here we are basically trying to make it right again.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir, thank you.
So, the reason that there's a property value threshold on these vacation rentals is so that we don't take away reasonably priced or affordable priced units. And I just, in my mind, I think that these units that were grandfathered in to take, so that something wasn't taken away from people. But when we passed our vacation rental ordinance. And I think that was a privilege, not necessarily a right. I think it's the responsibility of the agent that's in charge, it's the responsibility of the owner to follow those rules. And I think the rules are strict for that particular reason, so that through attrition, we lose those vacation rentals that could be considered affordable or reasonably priced. And this one, looking at the numbers on here as far as the property appraiser, is one of those. This could be a unit that could actually be rented for more than 28 days. If they don't lose the right of that. It could be there for a long-term rental. And somebody could actually live in that unit at whatever it is, less than $400,000 is what the property appraiser is saying, which is something that we're up against as a community, of these values of these condos and these homes. And I think that's the reason why originally, as I recall, they limited the number of those licenses, and they came up with a metric in order to come with what the price of those was. I don't think that necessarily upholding Jennifer's decision is the wrong thing to do, because she's following what the rules are. And she's saying you didn't fall within those guidelines of the rules. And like I say, it may lose its vacation rental license, but it can still rent for more than 28 days. It can still rent monthly, and it can still rent at long-term on a yearly. So if that's the way, but that's kind of the way I look at something like this. I think that it was intentionally written so that these things through attrition went away. and we still kept our, what, it's silly to say affordable, but the affordable housing stock that may still be there in these multifamily units. So that's my comment. I'll just listen to the rest of you.
Okay. So, yes, years ago, we had this in front of us, not this unit, we had the discussion about the grandfathering in of some of the old units, and we knew we were down to just a handful that was been grandfathered and had been that way for many years, and we thought keeping it was important. But we also recognized that we needed to eliminate the ones that weren't in the right zoning districts. And that's why some of the rules were as strict as they were. That was developed before I was ever involved, and it was a long process to come to this, but it was all discussed at those times. I also believe that, yes, the property manager should have been aware of the fact that there was a problem and made the family aware, if nothing else, even if your mother-in-law was having issues. We still have to follow a lot of the rules, and it's a shame that it came to this. I believe that, yeah, it was designed to grandfather out eventually. So that's all I got right now.
Anna, Steve, Vice Mayor? Anna?
I guess all I can say at this point is that I truly sympathize with y'all's situation, and it's probably heartbreaking to have to go through all of that, but at the end of the day, we still have rules and we still have a code that we need to follow. And if we do it once, we're just opening up Pandora's box to continue to do it. Not to say that anything less to take away anything with your mother and mother-in-law, but I just don't think that it's the right thing that we can continue to do it. Otherwise, it's going to continue to happen.
Vice Mayor?
Yeah, here's my concern. The zoning is one of my concerns. Another concern is just if you're not a vacation rental, you can still rent and keep your unit.
Mm-hmm.
And so to me, it's sort of a balance here where you're right, those grandfathered ones were meant to go away because they weren't, when we started the vacation rental thing, it was sort of like, here we go, it was new. And even if you're not a vacation rental, I'm sure the money would be more as a vacation rental but you're still going to be able to keep the unit in your family. You'll still be able to rent it. Renting down here is a whole nother story, but I'm unfortunately agreeing with the other people on the council. So, Steve?
Yeah, I tend to agree with everyone up here. I appreciate Mayor and Vice Mayor offering some alternative to you that you can still rent. I am also afraid of the precedent that it might set with others that have maybe had a similar plight, because I do sympathize with your situation. It's very unfortunate, and you know it's not really our staff's responsibility to inform you that there's something that that's hey, you need to get this in. It's not, they've got enough that's going on, so they just process things as they come. And I think that this is just something that we need to kind of adhere to instead of making an exception, because I'm afraid that we'll just continue to have these discussions, not just in vacation rentals, but in a lot of different things. So I tend to agree with what's been said up here.
All right.
So
Yeah,
I just wanted to add on, the staff did send notice out that it was an incomplete application. So it wasn't like that we didn't tell somebody that if they were incomplete applications, the fact that nobody followed up on that, whether that's your mother or the agent,
Yeah.
we have no way of knowing what the intent was, and we have to assume that no follow-up meant that you weren't interested. So,
Yeah, it's difficult, and I think you're hearing from all of us that we sympathize. You said it in your own testimony that rules are rules. This village, when we put together our vacation rental ordinance, and I remember it well, the entire community was involved. The hoteliers, the restaurateurs, the Chamber of Commerce, the public, the realtors, all of the community worked together to try to come up with a reasonable and rational vacation rental ordinance. It was one of the very few times that I remember in my entire history with this village and living here for 50 years, watching a community coalesce to come up with something that they felt like was a reasonable and rational way to control vacation rentals, but yet to still allow them, not to take something away from people that already were doing that and doing it the right way, paying their taxes and demonstrated that they've done it the right way. Unfortunately, there's the rules that were set, and Jennifer's upholding those rules, and staff is saying, I'm sure that they're in the same situation as us and saying, yeah, we feel bad, but there still is the rules that we've got to live with. And vacation rentals in Islamorada is a touchy subject no matter what. There are some people that embrace it, and there are some people that don't embrace it. So I think we're opening up a bad precedent if we just say we throw a rule away for one particular reason or another. We need to look at this one and say the rule's the rule, and we need to stick with it so that those do go away through attrition in those areas that may still be affordable areas. So with that, I guess, is there any other closing arguments that need to be said? And, all right, do I have a motion to uphold or to deny the appeal? To deny the appeal.
I want to make sure I say it right.
Yeah,
Yes,
right.
I want to deny the appeal.
Okay, I've got a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All right. Marnie, will you please call the roll?
Councilmember Deb Gillis?
Yes.
Councilmember Anna Richards?
Yes.
Councilmember Steve Friedman?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sharon Mahoney?
Yes.
And Mayor Don Horton.
Yes.
The motion passes 5-0.
Thank you all very much. Okay.
Tab 10 is a resolution of the Village Council of Islamorada Village of Islands, Florida, considering the request by Brian Lindback for administrative relief from the Village Building Permit Allocation System BPAS for property located at 215 Jasmine Street, Plantation Key, as legally described in Exhibit A, providing for transmittal to the Department of Commerce and providing for an effective date. Council, again, before we begin, if you'll please disclose any ex parte communications you may have had. This is tab 10. Please include whether the person represented any group or entity, as well as the subject matter, including the specifics of the discussion, as you best recall.
Can I correct the record? You said for Brian Lindback. This is for Craig Lindback.
Yes, and we can update that, yes.
Thank you. Even though Brian's here. Steve, any ex parte communication?
None.
Deb?
None.
Anna?
Just Craig Lindback.
Vice Mayor?
Nope.
I had a discussion about this quite a long time ago with Craig, I think.
Mr. Mayor, Councilwoman Richards, can you just, to the best of your recollection, what the discussion was with Mr. Lindback?
It was just his hope that he would be in BPAS long enough and either get a permit or be afforded administrative relief.
Yeah, same. It was just applying, that he had applied for it.
Thank you. We are ready to proceed.
Jennifer.
Good evening, Council. Jennifer DeBobrian, Planning Director for the Village of Islamorada. I'm here this evening for the administrative relief request for 215 Jasmine Street. CBT Construction and Development is the applicant and has applied for the administrative relief on behalf of Craig Limbeck, who is the property owner, pursuant to Section 30-477 of the Code of Ordinances of Isla Mirada. Section 30-477 requires that a public hearing be held during which the Village Council of Isla Mirada shall consider all evidence presented regarding the application and shall follow the procedures, standards, and criteria found within Code Sections 30-552 and 30-553 beneficial use. The burden of proof shall be on the applicant. The subject property is located at 215 Jasmine Street and is legally described in Exhibit A of the proposed resolution. The application, it was entered into the building permit allocation system on October 12th, 2021. The application has been considered in 4 consecutive annual allocation periods and has failed to receive an allocation award. At the close of quarter 4 of 2025, the application was ranked 3rd with 20 points. Pursuant to the requirements set forth in Code Section 30-477A, the applicant was eligible to apply for administrative relief between 12:01 p.m. on January 1st, 2026 and 12 p.m. on May 1st, 2026. The applicant submitted the application for administrative relief on January 28th, 2026. The proposed development is one single-family, 2-bedroom, 1.5 bathroom home, approximately 1,615 square feet. The site is approximately 5,250 square feet with allowing clearing and mitigation based on habitat. The full analysis of the application is in your packet. The additional information provided by the applicant is that the property owner has complied with all requirements of the building permit allocation system. The BPAS application has not been withdrawn at any time. The property owner has not applied for a deferral, and the applicant, as stated, is seeking an allocation award. Remedies offered under Code Section 30-477F include, at the conclusion of the public hearing, the Village Council may take any combination of the following actions. Grant the applicant an allocation award for all or part of the allocation requested in the next succeeding allocation period. Offer to purchase the property at its fair market value, or suggest such other relief as may be necessary and appropriate. And currently, the Village has 11 allocations available for administrative relief. At this time, staff recommends awarding the administrative relief allocation, and I'm available to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Jennifer. Let's see. Is there any testimony for those that are in favor of this?
Does the applicant want
we
to
would
ask?
treat Mr. Trentine, you're the agent for the applicant, right? So we would treat Mr. Trentine as agent for the applicant.
All right, very good.
So you get on.
I can't be in favor of it too?
Yeah. Just means you get unlimited time.
Chris Trentine, Isla Mirada, Plantishki. This is for Craig's daughter. If you don't know, she plans on staying here for a while. So hopefully she gets it and she can build herself a house and they can, be here for a while. So.
All right, good deal.
If you have any questions, let me know. Brian can
All right.
answer anything else too.
Thank you.
That's all right. I know you guys want to get out of here. We're good.
Is there any other testimony in favor of? Is there any testimony in opposition of? Jennifer, do you have any closing arguments?
We do have a
It's a
speaker.
pretty easy
in
argument, huh?
Opposition. Oh, you good? Okay.
Are you?
Never mind.
You okay? Okay, very good. Do I have a motion
I'll make a motion to approve.
to approve administrative relief for 215 Jasmine Street? Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. Marnie, will you please call the roll?
Councilmember Deb Gillis?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sharon Mahoney?
Yes.
Councilmember Steve Friedman?
Yes.
Councilmember Anna Richards?
Yes.
And Mayor Don Horton?
Yes.
The motion passes 5-0.
Okay, we'll move on to tab 11.
Tab 11 is a resolution of the Village Council of Isla Mirada, Village of Islands, Florida, concerning the request by Makulu LLC for administrative relief from the building permit allocation system BPAS for property located at 167 North Airport Road, Plantation Key, as legally described in Exhibit A, providing for transmittal to the Department of Commerce and providing for an effective date. Again, this is tab 11. Council, as with before, if you'll please disclose any ex parte communications you may have had with the applicant or anyone else. Please include whether the person represented any group or entity, as well as the subject matter. And as you've been hearing me ask earlier with you prior to, please include the substance of it. Commerce is looking a little bit more. They want to see the substance of it in the disclosure. So any discussions, please include that as well.
Thank you, John. Steve, any disclosure?
None.
Deb?
None.
Anna?
None.
Vice Mayor? Nope. Me neither. None at all. Jennifer, it's your show.
Is that enough detail or not? Never mind.
I think that'll suffice.
Good evening, Jennifer DeBobrian, Planning Director for the Village of Islamorada. I'm here for the administrative relief for 167 North Airport Road. CBT Construction and Development Inc. is the applicant and has applied for administrative relief on behalf of Makulu LLC pursuant to Section 30-477 the Code of Ordinances of Islamorada. Village Code Section 30-477 requires that a public hearing be held during which the Village Council of Islamorada shall consider all evidence presented regarding the application and shall follow the procedures, standards, and criteria found within Code Sections 30-552 and 30-553 beneficial use. The burden of proof shall be on the applicant. The subject property is located at 167 North Airport Road and legally described in Exhibit A of the proposed resolution. The application was entered into the building permit allocation system on October 29th, 2021. The application has been considered in 4 consecutive annual allocation periods and has failed to receive an allocation award. At the close of quarter 4 of 2025, the application was ranked 4th with 20 points. Pursuant to the requirements set forth in Code Section 30-477A, the applicant was eligible to apply for administrative relief between 12:01 p.m. on January 1st, 2026 and 12 p.m. on May 1st, 2026. The applicant submitted an application for administrative relief on March 4th, 2026. The proposed development is one single-family, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home with a hangar and is approximately 3,500 square feet. The site is approximately 8,608 square feet with allowed clearing and mitigation based on habitat. Again, the full analysis is in your packet. And additional information provided by the applicant is that the property owner has complied with all requirements of the building permit allocation system. The BPAS application has not been withdrawn at any time. The property owner has not applied for a deferral, and the applicant, as stated, is seeking an allocation award. Remedies offered under Code Section 30-477F include, at the conclusion of the public hearing, the Village Council may take any or a combination of the following actions. Grant the applicant an allocation award for all or part of the allocation requested in the next succeeding allocation period. Offer to purchase the property at its fair market value. Suggest such or other relief as may be necessary and appropriate. And the village currently has now 10 allocations available for administrative relief. Staff currently recommends awarding this administrative relief allocation, and I'm here if you have any questions.
Thank you, Jennifer. So, Chris, you want to
Come
back up again?
Come up with a little more enthusiasm.
I know.
I feel like you're going to the
hop up
gallery.
here or
You
something.
guys can be scary sometimes.
Try to keep your presentation a little shorter this time.
All right, quick story. I got my pilot's license 14 years ago. I'd say we bought this lot 6 or 7 years ago, me and a friend of mine. One of my best buddies. We both have our pilot's license. I haven't flown in a few years, but hopefully build this and get back to it and build kind of hurricane bunker, so keep our plane in it. And then if you guys need someplace to stay during the next hurricane, you're more than welcome. Yeah, it'll be all concrete. So, but that's it. And hopefully, down the road, have something for the kids to have. We're building a little 3-2 upstairs on top of it. So,
Good deal.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you. Wear me out.
I have a quick question.
Okay.
Can't wait for the rest of the meeting, and you guys appreciate everything you're doing. Really do.
Steve, yes.
Just a quick question, Chris. When I looked at the lot, there's a driveway going into the house next door. Was that just that owner then sold that lot to you?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, about I think it was 6 or 7 years ago that they separated it when they sold me, and then they sold the house separate.
Thanks.
Very good. Is there anyone else in favor of this application? Is there any testimony in opposition of it? Jennifer, do you have any closing arguments?
No, I think everything's been said.
Okay, you think it's all covered. Very good. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve?
Motion to approve administrative leave for 167 North Airport Road.
I'll second.
And I have a second. Marnie, will you please call the roll?
Councilmember Anna Richards?
Yes.
Councilmember Deb Gillis?
Yes.
Councilmember Steve Friedman?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sharon Mahoney?
Yes.
And Mayor Don Horton.
Yes.
The motion passes 5-0.
We're down to 10 now, right?
You're on 12.
No, we're down to 10
Oh, yes.
allocations?
Yeah.
Now we're down to 9.
Now we're down to 9, okay.
And then there was 9.
And then there was, okay. Let's move on to the next item, 12. Tab 12.
So 12 and 13 are both, one is the flume and one is the proposed zoning change. Historically, we've taken those together for
hear those
presentation
together.
purposes. Okay. So I'll read both ordinance titles. These are on second reading. Tab 12 is an ordinance of Islamorada Village of Islands, Florida, considering the request of Ty Harris, PA, agent for Horse Pens LLC, to amend the village's future land use map from conservation to mixed use for the subject property on Overseas Highway located on Upper Matecumbe Key with real estate number 00096850-000200, and to establish a new sub-area policy under objective 1-2.11 as legally described herein, providing for the transmittal of this ordinance to the State Department of Commerce and providing for an effective date upon the approval of this ordinance by the State Department of Commerce. 13 is an ordinance of Islamorada Village of Islands, Florida, considering the request of Ty Harris, PA, agent for Horse Pens LLC, to amend the official zoning map from conservation to neighborhood commercial for the subject property on Overseas Highway located on Upper Matecumbe Key with real estate number 00096850-000200 as legally described herein, providing for the transmittal of this ordinance to the State Department of Commerce and providing for an effective date upon the approval of this ordinance by the State Department of Commerce. Council, if you would please disclose any ex parte communications you may have had. Again, if this person represented a group or entity, please advise as to that, as well as the specifics of the subject matter of any discussion as you best recall.
Steve?
Let's see, I've talked to several people that are interested in this. I can't remember all their names. I got communication from a constituent about this, but that's about it. The conversation was really just regarding what we're discussing tonight.
And the communication, those were via email?
Yes.
Okay, so we can include that in the file for the
Yes.
names. Perfect.
I only received the emails, but I didn't respond to them.
Okay, Anna?
There was one email, and then I'm going to say probably Ty Harris, Brian Lindback, Jonathan Lindback. And it was just in regards to the plans, not clear any other, just basically what we're doing here.
No one.
No, when I spoke to Ty Harris, and the last hearing, on the first hearing, I spoke to a local realtor. I just cannot remember her name. And then there was a young lady that had called me, and I truly can't remember her name either.
Aaron Lake?
Very quick, excuse me?
Aaron Lake?
That's the name. Thank you very much.
And with Sarah Ewald might have been the realtor.
Sarah was the
So-
realtor too.
Right.
Yes, thank you. That's the advantage of being much younger than me. But yeah, and they were both very quick discussions about the zoning change and why we were changing from conservation to, the zoning that we're changing to. That's all.
Thank you.
Jennifer?
Thank you again, Jennifer DeBobrian, Planning Director for the Village of Islamorada. This is the second reading on the ordinances, one to amend the future land use map from conservation to mixed use, and to establish a new sub-area policy on the property with the real estate number 00968550-000200, and to change the zoning from conservation to neighborhood commercial. I'm not going to reread the whole presentation from the first reading and go over the whole analysis again. I will tell you that at your meeting on December 9th, you voted unanimously to approve this ordinance on first reading. After first reading, we rendered the ordinance to the Department of Commerce, and the Department of Commerce provided a letter of objection, recommendation, and correction. I attached the letter for your review in your packet. The applicant has asked to proceed with second reading at this time. The applicant uploaded additional data and analysis that will be provided to the Department of Commerce. The additional data includes the workforce housing study and the Monroe County evacuation study. And at this time, I don't have any additional thing to add, but I will hand it over to the applicant for additional presentation regarding Commerce's objections.
Can I ask Jennifer a question before you start?
Yes, you can.
When the Department of Commerce says no, do they give you a reason why? I mean,
yeah, if you read the letter that's in your
Yeah, I read
packet,
it, but
they don't, and they're just objecting at this time, and they're making suggestions as to what we could do to
Okay, that's what I thought,
make
okay.
it go through. And so they're suggesting that we provide additional data and analysis, and that we make some changes to make what they consider it to be more consistent with our
That's what I
comprehensive
thought.
plan.
Okay, thank you.
So when you hear something that say that the state worked something, it's just a letter of objection, recommendation, and correction, and so they just want to know, they want some additional clarification on the thing. Thank you. Ty?
Good evening. Ty Harris with the law firm of Ty Harris, PA, Plantation Key, Islamorada, Florida. So we've already had the first reading. I think probably my time is best spent kind of discussing the ORC. That's what planners call objections, recommendations, and comments reports. So what those comments look like were very, very much like the comments that we received from Department of Commerce when we dealt with the V-zone and affordable housing. In fact, you could have cookie cut the comments. So we've learned something from this, that every time we do an application that deals with affordable housing, we're going to have to include the 2007 affordable housing study along with the hurricane evacuation study, because that's the data and analysis that the state's looking for. You would think that since we've given it to them already 3 or 4 times in the last 18 months, that we wouldn't have to keep giving it to them, but apparently they want that packaged in every application that has an affordable housing component. So I believe that with the same type of responses, and we've uploaded about 650 pages of data and analysis, which we've given them on other applications, and we're seeming able to resolve their comments and objections. So that's what we're going to do here. I think the important thing from the first meeting to highlight is that this has been a horse stable a lot longer than the village has been in existence. The Limbachs have horses there. The scuttlebutt in the community is no secret that somehow this sub-area policy that allows for the horse pens to continue and affordable housing will result in the end of the horse pens. The problem with that is the Limbachs have their horses there, and if you get rid of the stables, there's no place locally to have horses anymore. So that really doesn't kind of pass the sniff test as far as what the plans are for the property. What the plan is that if there's an opportunity to add affordable housing in the same footprint that's currently in the build, meaning above the horse pens, that might be an opportunity in the future for the family to consider. But right now, again, similar to Tennis Center, we have a legal non-conforming use. And we have a situation where a business was in operation under a zoning that allowed many commercial uses and agricultural uses in the county. And then when the village came into existence, I know this has been my mantra for the last few years with you all, they received a zoning that eliminated all uses to the property. And only by the fact that the horse pens has never been closed for more than a year, the horse pens would be gone. So this is an opportunity to protect the legal status of the horse pens, very similar to what we just did with the Tennis Center, so that you could continue to have racket sports down on Lower Matacumbe Bay. And with that, I'm here to answer any questions, but that's pretty much what I would add from the first presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Ty. Jennifer, any closing arguments?
No, sir.
Is there anyone in favor of this, this application? We'll do in favor individually. So is there anybody in favor of tab 12? or anybody in favor of tab 13?
Speaking in favor, Cheryl Culberson, Chair of the local planning agency. This was in front of us 6 or 7 months ago, and I think Mayor Horton, you and I have spoken about that meeting. I will refresh everybody's memory that when this was rezoned, it was what I would call the Levy-Bauer, let's all change everybody's property zoning. It's been horses as long as I can remember. The stables have been there forever. It's a lot of room. It's perfect for it. We would encourage you to let this return to the appropriate modifications so the land can continue to be used as it has been used and should be used. And it will handle the affordable housing, which we do have a need for, including for the employees that work at all the various Lindback operations. I would encourage you to let this go past your second reading.
Thank you, Cheryl. Brian?
Hello.
Hey.
I'm Brian. That's right. I just want to say, we do have
Brian, do me a favor, for the record, just your name so that it's on
Brian
the
Lindback,
record.
Alamrata.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's good enough.
We do have horses there still. We aren't going to close the pens. That's what everybody keeps saying. You're going to close them. We just want to put something else in there to make it generate, be worth more money and have it for the other employees that we have. Because I have two other duplexes for the Lorelei for some employees, but we need more. I mean, there's no doubt. And but I just want to say the stables aren't going to be closed. We're trying to build above them, or there's got to be a way to work it out. Ever since Tim Bricker started the plan, God, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, the horse pens have always been drawn in to stay there and still have it there. That's not going to happen. So, and we're limited on how much we can build there. I know there's some that are worried that there's an unlimited amount, like 40, I've heard 40 homes are going in there. That would be difficult to fit, and we don't have that much open space. Not open space, but he did the study, so that what can be used and not used. And it's just we'll put what we can, we'll make it work somehow, and we're gonna try to keep everything there that's there.
Very good.
So.
Thank you, Brian.
Just want you to know. All right,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you.
Are there anybody else that'd like to speak in favor? There is someone else.
Chris, you saw how happy Brian came up?
You guys said I didn't come up here happy the last couple times. I just wanted to come up with more of a smile. Somebody just sent me a screenshot of me up here earlier, and I did look kind of miserable. So I just want to, I'm not miserable. I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy the horses are going to stay and that we're going to have some more housing above the horses for people to take care of the horses. So
Very good. Thank you so much. Okay. Is there anyone in opposition of this applicant? Sue?
Sue Miller, Lower Matacumbe. I am not in opposition to the horses. I have a question and a concern about the way the resolution is worded. I can't find where you're approving the sub-area and how the sub-area is defined, because I think it's really important that there is limits on that property. It's a gorgeous piece of property, and there's a lot of kids in this town that have had horses there that, have just loved that place. And I will tell you that I have trespassed there myself and have gone in just to watch the kids riding and taking care of their horses. And I think it's a wonderful facility. But it's a gorgeous hardwood hammock on that property. And it troubles me that I couldn't find when you approve this resolution, that I couldn't find the portion where you are actually approving a comp plan change to create a sub-area that will limit the property to the stable use and to affordable housing, and hopefully limiting the density of the affordable housing. And so I'm all for you allowing those horse stables to stay there forever, but I just have this question about the sub-area and making sure that the sub-area is included at the same time. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue.
Jennifer, do you have an answer?
Vice Mayor, hang on just a second, please. what I was going to say is I think it's in here on the ordinance where it talks about Upper Matacumbe Key Mixed Use Area 1, which is now the sub-area policy. And it will be in the future land use map, and it is in the ordinance. And that would be the name of it now, is the sub-area is called the Upper Matacumbe Key Mixed Use Area 1.
And it also states, shall be limited to the following uses.
Yes.
Riding stables and workforce affordable housing only, and then it states, and all other uses in the mixed use FLUM will be specifically excluded.
Right.
So where is that?
That's on the ordinance,
it's
On the approval of the change in the future land use
the
map.
amendment to the future land use map from
But there is
conservation.
no portion that you're not approving the specifics of the sub-area? I mean, the comp plan has.
We're making a brand new.
Has sub-areas.
It's
and
like a brand new FLUM.
Yeah, I expected to see, like in the other sub-areas that we have in the village, I expected to see a document that shows the chart with the sub-area, where it is, and what the limitations are. So that, when does that get created? That's all. I'm sorry to.
No, that's good. It's a good question. So you're saying that when is the map created? Is that what? Because it's in the ordinance that there will be a new.
No, not the map, but the sub-area. There's, in the comprehensive plan, each sub-area has a section in the comprehensive plan, apart from the actual future land use map, that defines the sub-area, the legal description for the sub-area, for the area that's covered, and what is allowed, what is it's restricted to. And I didn't see that. If it gets done in a different fashion, that's fine, as long as I feel comfortable that there will be a sub-area created in the comprehensive plan. Jennifer knows what I'm talking about.
I do. I'm sorry. I was just waiting for my turn. Yeah, so the way we've done it in the past is that we put it in the ordinance, and if you look in the resolution, it's the third whereas that identifies what the new sub-area policy number is. It's 1-2.11.8. It identifies the name, which is the Upper Matacumbe Key Mixed Use Area 1, and it identifies what the allowed uses and what the excluded uses are. So if this gets adopted tonight and then it gets approved by Commerce, once that happens, we will then take this and translate that to the chart that you're referring to in the comprehensive plan. We don't do that till after it's approved.
Right. Thank you, Jennifer. Council, is there any discussion? Oh, there's another one. Oh, I'm sorry. Come on up. In opposition of. You didn't raise your hand before. Thank you.
Oh, I turned in the sheet.
Okay.
Yes, Joe Wishmeyer, Plantation Key. First, I would like to, also say that when you combine the two items and we still only get 3 minutes, we should get 3 minutes for each tab. That's the way it was set up, and that's the way it should be. I don't happen to need it for this one, but for future, it's happened in the past where we didn't have enough time. Just to remind you a little bit of the past, on May 8th, when we were discussing the Publix that was up there, I wonder if you remember the report, and this was in my public comment, the report about the traffic that will be added to the segment 21 on Plantation Key. An additional 1,638 trips a day would be added to Plantation Key, where US 1 goes from 4 lanes to 2 lanes. With only 1,622 available trips, and that was from the 2021, and we know it's gotten more since then, that was 16 trips over. So then Bart Smith said that they will pay $18,104 a year for the next 12 years in mitigation. Well, that would also mean that the Tavernier Publix, using all the available trips on Plantation Key, no more development would be allowed unless the businesses and all the permits that you keep issuing here now and this other affordable housing thing, they would have to pay the equivalent of $11,080 per additional trip, the equivalent of what Publix will pay. This seems very unfair to the residents on Plantation Key who are always dealing with massive traffic issues to begin with, and the businesses that may want to expand for additional congestion around our schools and churches. Not to mention, we took even 50 extra units down, gave them to the Islander Resort, and affordable units at the Creekside Inn. Enough is enough. We can wait for our new comp plan to find out what's going on. I also did note that the Department of Commerce turned down your proposal. I don't understand why they say that you have to give you an evacuation from a 2007. Don't you think it would be more conducive to use a more current hurricane evacuation study than that? And the last I would say, remember our mission statement. Oh yeah, it's not there. It's back there. But if it was up there, you all could refer to it a little more often. I appreciate you putting it back. Don't get me wrong there. But I wish it was there so when we were up here talking, we could say, see, look at it. There it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Marnie, is there anyone else?
I don't have anyone else signed up.
Okay. Jennifer, you have anything?
No, I don't. Council,
any discussion?
I supported this the first time. I plan on supporting it again. I just appreciate Mr. Lindback making the promise, although not really legally binding, to continue the horse pens. The people that I've spoke to about this, that was their main concern. My daughter took riding lessons there. I appreciate your promise in going forward, and that's all I have to say.
Deb? Vice Mayor?
I have the privilege of having the Limbacks as my neighbor in Alamorada, and they are people of their word. I believe him when he says that they're going to keep the horse stables, and there's a lot of people in this community who'll hunt you down like a dog if you don't. So,
amen to that.
So they're good people, though.
Yep. Anna?
No, I know Brian, and he's going to do what he says he's going to do. And just to be clear, is that area is well documented. The cleared areas are documented. The horse stables are documented. So they can't expand past that footprint. It's a documented area, so that if that ever was to come up, you could find out if they went against their word or not, but they're not going to. Just so that's clear.
Thank you, Anna. All right, I'll fess up. I have a great-granddaughter that rides a horse there. So there again, the old guy in the room gets to trump you on something. You're right. Now there will be a conservation easement on this piece of property where there wasn't one ever before. Now we're going back to what we've done many times. We have fixed these issues where zonings were stripped, rights were stripped, privileges were stripped from other people that should have never happened. I hope that what comes out of our new comp plan is that there's a comp plan policy that requires staff to go through and do an analysis on all of the zonings and flums in the village that were, in my opinion, improperly done, where rights were taken away, where nonconformities were created by the stroke of a pen of a planner that didn't stop to think of the damage that could happen to people when their zoning gets changed out from under. I know I've heard a lot of testimony in the past where they should have known, there were public meetings, but people do not understand future land use maps, and they don't understand the damage that it can be created by changing the zoning right out from underneath them. And that's what happened on this piece of property and a lot of others. So I'm in full support of this, and I'm thankful that we're taking advantage of sub-area policies, which our comp plan points us to do and encourages us to do. So with that, if there's no other testimony, can I have a motion to approve first tab 12, which would be an amendment to the future land use map from conservation to mixed use, and to establish the sub-area policy at the subject property.
I'll move to approve.
Got a motion
Second?
and a second. Marnie, we call the roll?
Vice Mayor Sharon Mahoney?
Yes.
Councilmember Anna Richards?
Yes.
Councilmember Steve Friedman?
Yes.
Councilmember Deb Gillis?
Yes.
And Mayor Don Horton.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Now can I have a motion to amend the official zoning map from conservation to neighborhood commercial for the subject property?
I'll move to approve.
I got a motion, can I have a second?
I'll second.
And we got a second. Marnie, will you call the roll?
Vice Mayor Sharon Mahoney?
Yes.
Councilmember Deb Gillis?
Yes.
Councilmember Steve Friedman?
Yes.
Councilmember Anna Richards?
Yes.
And Mayor Don Horton.
Yes.
That motion passes 5-0.
Thank you. Is there anything other business that's for the good of the village? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
We are adjourned. Thank you.